Bloomberg World Headquarters in New York, this is Street Smart.
A merger in the online retail sector this week with the acquisition of Shop.com by Market America. Market America CEO James Ridinger promises it will revolutionize the shopping experience.
And man, JR, how can you say this thing's going to work? It's going to work because it's an idea whose time has come, and I'm going to make it work. Everything that someone wants on the internet in one place on one URL. And you know what's beautiful about it? For once, it's not dependent on your education, your bankroll, your connections, or your background. All you have to have is a little sweat equity and desire to make it happen, and you can be free.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Market America, Shop.com, and our global, worldwide family of companies. Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Ridinger. Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Ridinger. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Market America Shop.com and our global family of companies. Give it up, J.R. Ridinger. Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Ridinger.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. I had a nightmare about a week ago. I came here and nobody showed up. Hey, Ben, what a beautiful suit. Oh, my goodness. What an awesome responsibility it is for you to come with an open mind and open heart to hear me say something that might help you succeed. That's a lot. And Frank, it's all your fault, all your guys' fault, because you believed so much in the beginning when I drew it out on paper and told my dream and vision, and you led to other people, so I'm in deeper than I get out. Because the most valuable thing is people's belief. So at any rate, here I am, the 65th time, including Taiwan. We've done this a few times. I had the tendency to pack 20 pounds of sugar into a 5-pound bag. I think that it'll hold it, but it always breaks. I'm never done. I'm never finished. So we'll do it like the university system. When the bell rings, I'll do the rest next time. How's that? Fair enough? So, are you learning anything? Because you see, what I really want to talk about tonight is you. And what makes you tick and what can change things for you in the future. Because you see, the most difficult prison to break out of is your mind. Believe it or not, it's your own mind. And you have to go out of your mind in order to find yourself. I'm going to do brain surgery tonight. And I'm going to show you how to program your brain. I'd like to begin by saying, without any doubt, I'm nothing special. I'm as average as can be. I didn't have any special upbringing, as normal gets. I had great parents. But the difference between you and me is I know how to program my brain. That's it. And if you learn how to program yours, you will experience miracles in your life. You become what I call a hopeless success. It's impossible not to succeed. Actually impossible. So I hope that your mind is open. I call myself a part-time brain surgeon. You know, when you fly somewhere and you're in first class, as you all know, there's a ceremony. Immediately people turn to each other and, what do you do? He said, well, I'm a part-time brain surgeon. He said, part-time? Yeah. You know, would you like me to operate on your thinking? He said, go on, go on. You know, so I take out my trusty little flip chart. I mean, what's he going to do? He's on the plane for an hour in the tube. He can't jump out. I see if he qualifies. So we're going to have some fun. My real question is, why are you here? I mean, it doesn't take a little bit to get here. And I'm impressed by that. But why are you here? To have fun, to meet a potential candidate for a significant other? Why are you here? Because if you came with the intention of finding the secret, if you came with the intention to leave doing something different, you're at the right place at the right time with the right person, with the right motivation, with the right company, and the right opportunity. And we're going to make that happen. We are. So I want to tell you about Leroy. And I picked this story. I never tell a story just to tell a story, if you want to understand. I pick it to make a point. And this one, I think, is very appropriate for this juncture in time in our situation. So Leroy was like us all. He was exuberant, excited about life, and he wanted a red bike. He had picked it out. He checked it out. He knew what it cost, but he didn't have the money. He had to get his mom to give it to him for his birthday that was coming up. So he gave her plenty of time. He prepared her 2 weeks ahead, and, you know, his mom said, that's a lot of money, and you have been, you know, kind of a problem in school. You better go upstairs and write a letter to God why you should have that bike. And they were, you know, good Catholics. And so he went upstairs and started to write a letter. And he said, Dear God, I've been a very, very good boy. I've done everything right, and I really want this red bike. And Mama doesn't quite have the money, but maybe you can help out some way, answer my prayer, and get me that red bike. You know, he sat down and he thought about the letter that he wrote. He says, God, that's a lie. God automatically knows when you're lying. That ain't going to work. So he said, okay. He threw it out, ripped it up, threw it out. He wrote another letter. Okay, God, I've been okay. I've tried hard. I messed up a few times, but I've been an okay boy. But I really, really want this bike, and I believe in you. Can you please let me have the red bike? He read the letter back like he was God. He said, that won't work. So he ripped it up, and he wrote another letter. Dear God, I have been a very bad boy, but I believe in you so much that I promise that I will never be bad again. Does it sound familiar? If you just would give me this red bike, and I'll prove it to you, and if I don't be good for the rest of the year, you can punish me and take it away. Negotiating with God, right? Anybody ever do that? So he read the letter and said, my goodness, I'm going to get caught. I'm going to get caught, and it's going to be a bad time. So he ran downstairs, got his jacket, His mother said, "Where are you going?" He said, "Don't worry, I'm going to church." Ran down to the corner church and went in the door and up towards the altar. He looked around. He grabbed the Virgin Mary Mother, stuck it in his coat, and ran home. Got upstairs, put it out, sat down to write a letter. "Dear God, I got your mama. If you want to see her again, send the bike." Wow. He wasn't really a bad guy. He wanted that bike bad, but do you think he got the bike? It's a valuable lesson in life. But if he had followed the system and done it right, I bet you God would have materialized the money. His mother would have found a way. And he would have had the bike. Well, you catch that one on the way home. There's a big moral in that. You get it? So I'm going to be saying, do you get it? Does that make sense? Because we're programming the brain today. And once that brain is programmed, it doesn't matter as much what you do. It's almost impossible for you not to do what it takes to succeed. And if the circumstances aren't right, it'll be attracted to you. Okay? And I'm going to show you that tonight. But, you know, I just wish you could understand and could believe like we believe. And understand both intelligently, cognitively, emotionally, how powerful this thing is and what we're trying to do. And that we're at the threshold of potentially being able to change the world. Because we have the technology, we have the methodology. And all it takes is numbers of people believing together. Do you believe that? After all I've said this weekend? But I wish I could grind us up and myself up into a new product. A little pill. You get double BV and double IBV on it. Everybody would get it. And you would take this pill. It would make you do and be motivated to do and habitually do the fundamental things that you had to do every day. And they would add up to what you had to do every week. So you take the pill, I mean, you're doing it. I mean, you know it, but sometimes you just don't do it, right? So, you know, you get, everybody gets the bottle and everybody starts taking the pill. And a month later, I look at you and you haven't done very much. And I say, I mean, this is impossible. Because anybody that gets this pill, this belief, this motivation, always does it. Let me see the bottle. I said, look at the bottle. You only took 3 pills. Isn't it funny that even if I gave you a miracle solution that would fix everything and make it happen, you just had to take the pill, but you end up not taking the pill. Well, at any rate, if you took the pill every day, you take this thing and it gets into your bloodstream, you would start to know what we know, feel what we feel, believe what we believe, experience what we experience. And you would break out in sweat, start shaking, bust out the door, and talk to everybody, or qualify everybody, and become a hopeless success. Do you know what I mean, Elizabeth? Doggone right you do. So I'm going to give you that pill today, but I can't make you take it every day. So the most important person here tonight is not me. I already made it. I already know, a long time ago. I don't do this for money. I got so much money I don't know what to do with. I can't even imagine how I got it. It's just, it's unbelievable. It's actually unbelievable. Here at little nobody made it. Nobody helped me. They just kicked me when I was down. Okay? But see, that doesn't matter to you, or it shouldn't matter to you. It only should matter to the extent that I prove that it works. And the same thing with the people up here. The bottom line is, it's about you. This whole business is about you. Not me, not the other guy, not these champions up here that already did it. It's about you. Why are you here? And what do you want? And what do you need to learn and do to make it? Because it definitely works if you work it. You cannot deny that. The proof is already there, right? Oh, come on. You know, is it there? Does it works if you work it. Okay. So it's going to be about you tonight. Okay, so look. I give you the bottle of pills. Here we are. There's nothing that can stop you if you take the pill, but I have not been able to figure out a way, you know, to get you to keep taking the pill. So we come back twice a year. You get all riled up, and you get about a month into it, you go back to your old ways. Is that true? Things distract you. I'm not blaming it on you. I know the way it is. But if you really want to be successful, you got to stay on schedule with that pill, the JR Belief Success Pill. And, you know, my goal is to fulfill this arena with directors and above. It's definitely doable, and I'm not going to rest or stop until I accomplish that. But I could use a little help from you. You know, because we are always pregnant. I have been pregnant for 25 years. I mean, we fool around a lot. And we have a good time, and sometimes we slip up and get a new great idea. Or sometimes we're really in touch with reality, and we get pregnant. But I've learned that it's easier to conceive than it is deliver, right, ladies? Yeah. How many people agree with that? Even the guys, right? Okay, but we do deliver. We do deliver. We do go through that gestation period. And we go to term, and we've delivered some beautiful conceptual babies in this business. We reinvented the industry. You know, it's football time now, and, you know, a story that I love is about game changing. And this company is a game changer. We changed an industry, and then we created a new one. And we're leading the parade. And if you'll just come with us, with me, on my mission, we will change the world. Because we got the 5 things to do it. The only thing that needs to be added is numbers in all of you. But, you know, Knute Rockne, the great coach from Notre Dame, okay, had an idea. And football came from rugby. And American football evolved. It was slightly different, you know, but there was no forward pass. You can only do a lateral, kind of half soccer, and there was no forward pass. Well, Knute Rockne of Notre Dame, I guess it was around 1913, came up with an idea, and he read the rule book, and there was no rules against it. The forward pass. And he also came up with the man in motion, as long as he was going backwards, could get a flip out, a pitch out, right? Wow, nobody did that. It was, so when he came out with it, he just trampled the other team. And boy, there was an uproar. Everybody wanted to find a rule against it. Now today they just make up new rules. Don't hit the quarterback. But at any rate, the forward pass and the man in motion changed the game. Nobody, they tried to stop them. They tried to find the rules, but you know what? There was no rule against it. So they all had to change. The world had to change. And it made football a much more exciting game. You agree with that? You get the point? You get why I tell it? That's what we're doing. We're changing the game. And, you know, we have big goals and big plans. My motto is dream big and think big, because you'll never be bigger than your dreams. Now, you might not understand how powerful that is, because what you end up with is a direct correlation and reflection of how you think. You are not going to be bigger by accident. You are not going to fall into something that makes you a millionaire. It doesn't happen by accident. But the way you think and what you think is what manifests. And I'm living proof of it. These people are living proof of it. Okay? So the difference between them and you, and me and you, is what we think. Now, most people don't think very much. So they become a victim of circumstances because that's what they think. And that's what they get. And that's what they become. Do you believe me? Yeah. I have lived this. I know it. I'm in the business of doing it with people, and I've created hundreds of millionaires. That is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. So, what is it? What is this thing that a person thinks big? You see, most people don't ever even get to the point where they learn how to think right, how to program their brain, how to change their identity, because your behavior can't be changed unless your identity changes. You can't stop smoking trying to stop smoking. You have to become a non-smoker first. You get that? I love the story. I think Tony Robbins tells it. He curses a lot on stage now. You notice that? But Tony Robbins tells a story about the scorpion. The scorpion and the frog are on one side of the river. And they're kind of friends. But he's not going to mess with them because scorpions sting frogs. They kill them. That's the way nature is, right? Right? You guys must be tired. So the scorpion pleads with the frog. Froggy, we've known each other for a while. You know, we respect each other. We don't mess around. I got to get at the other side of the river, and I can't swim because my family's there. They're there, and you know, they can't get across. I can't get across. You got to help me, man. He said, well, you sting frogs. He said, I would never do that. If I stung you, I can't swim, I would drown. Makes sense, right? Oh, he thought about it. He said, okay, you got a point there. Okay, but you're going to owe me, and I hope that you really mean this because I'm doing this from my heart because I know how badly you miss your family. So he got out there, he got 3/4 of the way across, just enough to almost touch ground, and the scorpion started stinging him. Bam, 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 bam. Frog is dying. I mean, he gets, you know, a little further in. He says, why did you do that? I mean, you're probably going to drown and I'm going to die. It makes no sense, and there's your family. He says, that's what scorpions do. Well, you catch it on the way home. That's what scorpions do, because you see, that's his identity. That's what he is. And if you're a field vice president really in your mind, it will happen. Everything will happen. And you will act like one all the time. And you will do the things one does all the time. And it'll manifest. We'll talk a little bit about this a little bit more. But Market America is a product brokerage and internet marketing company that specializes in one-to-one marketing, providing a shopping annuity, allowing people to convert spending into earning. Wow. Now, if that doesn't stimulate a question, the person you're talking to is either brain dead, I don't want to say anything else, but they're not very bright, or they're asleep. Do you understand what I mean? They're mentally constipated. They're so stopped up with negative and anxiety and fear that they can't even hear you or comprehend what you're saying. You want me to say it again? Market America is a product brokerage and internet marketing company that specializes in one-to-one marketing, providing the shopping annuity, allowing people to convert spending into earning. Woo. Okay. Or Market America is an entrepreneurial opportunity that allows the average person to own an online franchise and earn a residual income by converting spending into earning with Shop.com. It's called the shopping annuity. Now, we all get asked, what is it? What do you do? What do you say? Because you see, this starts the qualification process that I was trying to teach the other day. Because they start asking questions, you see? But that becomes part of your identity. That's Market America's identity. And if you're not matched up with what we are, I don't think you're going to do very well. Is this making sense to you? Am I mesmerizing you or boring you? Because I'm saying, like, you know. So, at any rate, what it's come down to over 25 years, and I'm going to show you some stuff. This is what we were selling from day one. A company that could provide anything and everything that people buy, that had a mall without walls and a tracking system that could allow you to develop a residual income off of who led to who, right? And we eliminated all the problems of other businesses. So one side of the coin, whoops, wrong direction. What's happening here? I can't get it. Yeah. One side of the coin is the business majors. Businesses within a business, where somebody that has a talent or an interest or an inclination or connections in a certain business area can have a business and have a tremendous retail business from it, make money and lead to others that they're connected with and earn a residual income. And you don't have to do any of those. It's kind of like a shopping mall, all different types of stores. You do the one you want, right? And we have a totally turnkey system, marketing support, training, everything needed to get the customers. You just have to do it. And it's not going to cost you 150 grand. You understand what I mean? Yeah. So to try it at Market America, we eliminate the barrier of economics. Most average people don't have 150 grand. And that would eliminate them, wouldn't it? But it's worth 150 grand. The problem is because we don't charge that, you treat it like a nickel and dime operation. Yet there's people that are making millions in it. You know, so the other side of the coin is the shopping annuity, which puts a major in one of those areas at the maximum profitability. But the bottom line is this very simple concept that I started with. People hate to be sold, but they love to buy. When you go to the store and a salesman comes up and says, hey, can I help you? What do you say? Yeah, help me. I want to buy something. You do that? No, we don't want to be pestered. We don't want to be pressured. We make our own decision. But we want what we want. True or false? So we know what we want, right? So instead of trying to sell stuff, why not figure out what people buy? And simply provide them a better product. Or simply provide them the product that they're already buying at a better cost. Because everybody shops, everybody spends. Think about this simple concept as a business, rather than being, you know, a Mary Kay or a vacuum cleaner company or, you know, a website company. We can do all of that. You talk about something transparent, natural. Everybody wants to have a nest egg. Everybody's broke. And the guy that has money, he can't stop working because he's broke at a higher level. He's spending all that money. And it's a much longer fall because they don't have residual income. I love talking to people like that. Builders, entrepreneurs, doctors. Well, they got to be running the people through the office. The guy tells me, I made $8 million last year on that building. I said, oh, whoopee-doo. I help somebody else make 6 figures, and I get paid a couple $100,000 on that for the rest of my life. I don't have to rebuild it. Because you see, residual income, I don't know if you really understand it because we gave it to you. It's almost impossible to get. And it's reserved for the elite, privileged. You got to invent something and have a way to get it out there and brand it. You have to make a movie, be a movie star. There used to be in music, but they took it away. So you build something once, and as long as it's working and valuable, you get paid over and over and over again without having to put more time in. Who else has that? That's the golden egg. Are you getting this? So I know that we have the most incredible system, model, and program ever invented that addresses the average person and the masses, that can change the economy. This is not small stuff. We're the best at what we do, and we're just getting started. And I need you to go out and spread the word. Okay, and it's kind of funny. Products emerge and disappear overnight. You aware of that? And it's an information age, a technology age. What happened to Kodak? A $1 billion company, 50,000 employees or whatever. And overnight, because of digital, it disappears. Great brand, you got to use the brand somehow. Give it to me. I'll make you some money. Think about it. We used to have disc. We started out with what do you call them? Plastic albums and LPs. Then it went to cassette tapes. Then it went to 8 tracks or 8 tracks into cassette tapes. All music players. And overnight they disappear. You see? But our business design is that we go with the trends. You determine what we sell. And we're modeled to be able to sell anything. We're modeled to be able to change with the times so that we're always relevant and we're always leading the parade. You understand this? Nobody else has this. Okay, and because it's built on unfranchised owners, it turns into a marketing monster. And you have determined all the products that we end up with, whether you know it or not. And because we're market driven. And when a product doesn't sell, or we bring out a product that you don't like, okay, it doesn't go. We get rid of it. A lot of you haven't been around long enough to know some of the products that came on, and they were great, they were okay. But the pricing changed, the market changed, or whatever, or there was something better. So we moved to what was best, what was hottest. And you're all hungry. You're hungry. And being hungry is the key to success. If you're not hungry, you're not going to make it. You're hungry for BV and IBV. So when you see a product that moves, all of these cells are hungry. And the marketing monster reaches out and sucks it up. Okay? Do you understand that? Where am I? That's how it works. Hey, who else has that model? So when I ask you guys, we're now at the technological level where we can do digital aggregation and we can determine what people want instantly and bring the product out every month. Are you going to vote? And if what you vote for wins, are you going to buy? Because you're spending less money. Is that genius? That's almost as good as people hate to be sold, they love to buy. So why try to sell them stuff, find out what they're buying? That's one-to-one marketing. So the shopping annuity makes its debut, and it's converting spending into earning, lowering prices and the cost of shopping while providing residual income to members simply by shopping. And if we are able to track their footprint, because if it's working for you and you're saving money, you can't but help tell your relatives, right? And your friends and people at work. So it almost spreads virally. And everybody shops. Not everybody buys cosmetics. Not everybody buys websites. Not everybody buys, hairspray or whatever. But everybody shops because they got to live. And to live, you got to spend. How natural, how transparent. This is not relevant to a market size of, 10 million people or 100 million people. This is the whole world, everybody. Do you understand or comprehend that intellectually? Okay, so we work in I just want to go into this a little bit. Our marketing plan, some of you see it and it's so ingenious that you see ways to manipulate it. And that's only because it's a miracle creator. It's like changing football with a forward pass and pitch out, man in motion. Do you understand that? Totally changes the game. And, but there's some vulnerabilities in it. Why do we love the plan? I mean, if anybody's been around, first of all, it changed the industry. But not only did it change the industry, it was so powerful that we created a new model, a new industry. And we're leading the parade, and it's in its infancy. This is like the beginning of cars, or the beginning of telephones, or the beginning of Google. And it's just as big as any of those, the power of it. And there's not one reason, one valid, intellectual, logical argument that can explain why it won't work. At this point, the only reason it won't work is that you won't do it. And then I'll go find somebody else. Because it's an idea whose time has come. And it's going to work because I'm going to make it work. And I hope that you're with me. Because the early adopters are the ones that make it. But let's think about this. What makes the plan so revolutionary when you contrast it to the antiquated things that are out there? Okay, well, it only takes two legs. I didn't say two people. Two legs, okay, rather than contrasting that to and anything else, 10 to 20 to make six figures, right? Arlene, you're not going to be able to do it. Some of you complain about two. What were you if you were in another company, the antiquated, old-fashioned way, and had to build 10 to 20? Well, the statistics over 50 years show that the average person from the DSA is able to sponsor 2.84 people and keep them for a year. So we're under two, but the real reason for two is the smallest multiplier that exists. You can't have a half of a person. So 2's the smallest, and we figured out how to pay the most money on the smallest production. There's a vulnerability in that. Somebody may be able to manipulate if they don't follow the rules. That's why we make you follow the rules. You know, vertical compounding versus horizontal diffusion. When you got to keep adding people on, nobody has a common interest. It's a dog-eat-dog fight. They're all competing. But the way this works, profit and stability are built vertically because you have to secure each leg, so that's building depth. Normally, profitability is in width, but it's only 2 here. All the profitability is in depth. That's miraculous. You know who invented that? They said it couldn't be done. And, you know, downline placement of sponsoring and reentries. You're able to multiply and expand your profitability, multiply your income, and speed it up and help develop security rather than going wide. I sponsor 4 people per leg. And I build a team. And it goes so fast, it doesn't lose momentum. Do you do that? But that's a tremendous advantage because I don't have to build them wide and I can continue to profit down. But it's not about downline placement of volume. That makes no sense. Why would you give your volume up to somebody else downline that didn't do it? That's going to create an obligation and expectation and weaken them. I want to duplicate. Oh, I know why. You figured out a way to beat the system. Well, guess who the system is? You. You're going to find out that you just beat yourself. So, you know, a boomerang. Okay, and by the way, there's no residual income in that. Okay, so people are on different clocks. Have you ever thought about this? Every single one of you are on a different clock. I built this into the plan. So when one person hits a level or a threshold and gets paid, and they go faster than somebody else, it doesn't affect them. They keep their volume, both volumes are adjusted, and the time clocks are all different for every single one of you in here. So if you go faster, you can earn more, but it doesn't hurt anybody above or below. You go slower, same thing. It's pretty miraculous, extremely complicated. Unlimited search to infinity. So symmetry isn't important. Filling out levels isn't important, okay? You just build and build and build. It's like water running down a mountain, the path of least resistance. Not everybody's going to do it. Timing has a lot to do with it. They're not all going to do it at the same time. There's a randomness to it. And that randomness is an actuarially reality that's been proven and verified over 25 years. But when somebody breaks that, and forces it all to go down one way, unless they're doing all the requirements of real people, the plan doesn't work. If everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, it works. So I had to bring in the 5th year, actuaries and mathematical experts, but do multiple calculus derivatives on the ratios of volume, and volume being regenerated versus new volume versus people being paid, because it's a constant cycle. Very complicated. We perfected it. But if you try to beat the system, and I'm going to do a seminar on this, a webinar, because I believe that some of the smart people that work so hard to beat the system don't really understand that they're destroying the opportunity, the marketing plan in themselves, and it doesn't work. It'll never produce residual income. And if you understand that, maybe that's the real excuse, that you don't know. So your entrepreneurial zeal turns a little bit bad boy, and you thought you were doing something tricky and smart because you didn't understand why it doesn't work mathematically for you or us. Does that make sense? Is that being fair? Oh, come on, I'm being really fair. I'm saying, I'm making an excuse for your bad things. You know, what else? 100% credit for all volume in a string to infinity without any dilution. You know what dilution means? You get 10%, you get 9, you get 8, you get 7, you get 6, you get 5. Everybody gets 100% credit as long as they're active, as long as they're real, as long as they're not passive, and as long as they're carrying their load and meeting the requirements. If you don't do that, I can't do it. So, you know. All the requirements are integrated. I'll explain this later. Yeah, you don't buy 200 to qualify. You sell through $200 worth of products over 90 days to qualify. You say, you don't have to do 50 a month. 50 a month times 3 is 150, which is 200 retail. And you're selling that. And that's why the customer aspect is so important. And it's all documented, unless you turn in fake receipts. Then you committed to fraud. We're not going to be in trouble with the government. Are you understanding this? What, 150? Why 150? 150 a month for somebody already making money, they should have the customers. And statistically, it's proven that they do. Well, 150 sold through is 200 retail. Are you getting this? You don't know this, but everything matches. Everything's integrated. Everything is self-reconciling. I'll go through it in a seminar, but it's a lot more than you think. It makes perfect sense. So you get 2 checks from the same people. I know it was hard without the shopping annuity, but linking the 2 of them together, really, you don't like it, but it makes you more money at the end of the day. So normally you're going to have to build more. We actually provide the opportunity to earn 2 checks on the same customers and organization, and it's exponentially 4 times easier with the shopping annuity. Well, you don't think it works because you never tried it. You see, you never tried it, and you're not going to know until you try it. But it does work, and it's worked for a lot of people. Okay, so I don't know why I got off on that, but the thing is, in our business, it's kind of miraculous. You work in cooperation rather than in competition. You have all these advantages. It's an unfranchised, and I want to speak to this. An unfranchised means that every unit does it the same way. Same presentation, same materials, you know, same products, same system. Somehow that has gotten lost a little bit. And we're going to go back to it. You know why? All of us have made money. That's what made it work. Is this making sense? So I'm not going to do this, but I'm going to do it in a seminar. The differences and advantages of our business over all other business. I think most of you know them. You know, you're talking about 2 organizations versus 10 to 20 in order to have the same income and not have any security or stability by other people making money, because they have to duplicate that in results, like Mark said it today. It requires too many people and too much volume for any one individual to make money, and for them to sustain it, they got to duplicate the same thing. So we got the solution. You say, we are the miracle. When people say MLM, this is totally different. It's a tracking system. And let me show you. So at any rate, let's talk about the unfranchised. Now, the unfranchised, to some of you, is just a word that you use. It's just a word. I do whatever I want, you know. I do my own thing. I have my own way of explaining it. And that is one of the big problems in direct sales and MLM. Everybody does it different. People get in a position to sell information and materials, and they're more concerned about that because they're making more from that than the marketing plan. And so now they want your organization to follow them. And I could go on and on and on and on. I don't want 20 pounds of sugar in a 5-pound bag to break right yet. But you know, there's the way of the weak. and the way of a different organization. And every week things changes and people get confused. And you can't send your person to California if you're in Connecticut because they do things totally different out there. You know, it's just like the McDonald's concept. What makes it work? It's not only the branding and the systems that are uniform, that save you money, that are proven to make money, but it's when a customer goes to a McDonald's in California or New York, they are expecting something, consistency, quality, and it's the same everywhere. So if everybody's going to do a difference, there is no franchise. Why are we the unfranchised? Because you don't have to pay the royalty. We pay you a royalty, and you don't have to pay $1 million. You don't have to pay the franchise fee. But we have all the same characteristics, and it's extremely powerful in this type of business because you have to have people doing it, unfranchises doing it, and you want them to be on a program, a system. You don't want it to be different all the time and change all the time because that undermines stability. Do you agree with this? Okay, we're going to get real tough on it. You do it our way or the highway. And that's how it is in a franchise, because if your McDonald's has pink rings, you're destroying the brand and the system. And you're serving other things other than their products. People get confused. I came here to get my fries. They ain't got none. Are you comprehending this? And we worked very hard on this, and it worked perfectly for 15 years. I got busy, and I don't know what you did. But you should want it to be this way. Oh, you got a great idea, so you're going to do it different. Then your two people have a great idea, and they do it different. What's wrong with doing it the way it worked? Where you have an advisory council and a corporate team with many years of experience that say, yes, we're testing this, and it works, now everybody will do it. Does that make sense? I need a little support. I mean, God, you know? And you know what? I never do anything that's bad for you. Never. We are always in your seat. Whether you know it or not, I'm an unfranchised owner. I make over $2 million a year in commissions from what I built, and you're all under me. So, you know, you can't fool me. I'm one of you. And most people know that. So we did this because we did it every other way. We know what the problems are. You know, so boy, that's McDonald's, lobsters, and do you go to McDonald's for lobsters? Some of your people go to a meeting and that's what they're getting, the wrong thing. Okay, well, what about Starbucks? Starbucks has an incredible system. It's very systemized, just like our unfranchised is very systemized. And when they go there, they expect to get, you know, cappuccino, whatever. But you got a better idea. And in your Starbucks, you decide to change it to Crappuccino and Depresso. Well, that's what you're doing. Totally analogous. Exactly what you're doing. And you're wondering why it doesn't work and people get confused. I'm telling you, isn't it better to have strength than your personal egotistical idea rule the day? Well, let me tell you something. In franchising, it's a contract. And they're very strict about it because it's about their brand. It's about the economic model. And if you go do it another way, you lose your franchise. So I'm giving you a chance to straighten up. Not out of meanness, because we're one team, one dream, and that's what works. That's why, you know? And really think about it. One time I got really frustrated. I mean, I am human. I do get frustrated. I can take a lot, but sometimes I break down. You know, everybody moaning and groaning about nickel and diming us, Pro-Pack, and now, you know, monthly fee for, well, we're in a real business and you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars. We don't charge you up front, but you got business expenses. What do you think this is, Checkers? Nowhere else in the world can you buy a business that has this type of economic leverage, opportunity, and income potential for $129. I told Dennis, you've been in franchising, I don't know why we're doing this. Let's franchise it, and then the franchises can have distributors. And they'll get everything up front that they need. So I went to franchise syndicators. And they looked at it and the products and the technology and the model. They said, well, you don't have any real estate. You're not leasing any equipment. But, you know, the rest of it's really impressive, probably better than a brick and mortar franchise. By the way, McDonald's is really not in the food business. They're in the real estate business. But at any rate, they looked at it and they came back with a number. I was expecting 10 grand, at least 10 grand. $120,000. When I turned to Dennis, I said, this is incredible. It runs chills up my spine. It makes me proud, but I can't do it. He said, why? He said, because the mission and reason for this company was to make it available to the average person to be able to pull themselves up from their bootstraps and make it. And they won't be able to afford that. But you know, it's not me. It's not me. It's just what it's about. It's our identity. I appreciate you standing because I want to tell you something, guys. I love you so much. I am so much one of you. And I know the yellow brick road. And I know that there's really no Wizard of Oz. It's our belief. But we'll take the trip anyway to get through the witches and to become friends and to improve our weaknesses and to share our strengths, because that's what makes you end up being successful. You have it anyway. I don't know though. In that box, $129 is a monster. Not only that marketing monster, but a monstrous technology system. A monstrous training system. So unlike an internet business, you go into an internet business, shopping business or whatever, you set up your site and you start marketing it, okay, you're gonna start needing other people because the day runs out fast. You have to refresh content, you gotta be fast. Oh man, you start selling products, now you gotta do fulfillment, credit card processing, and this one thing after another until you got a full-time job and you're not really making residual income, but you are making money if you succeed. Does this make sense? But look at all the things that we give you. You can read faster than I can speak. I got to run through them and say them all. It's more than anybody else gets in any other business, even ones that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions. Do you agree with that? Do you realize that? So you always said, I don't have the money to be an entrepreneur. And the cheap things like a cleaning service don't really interest you, and they're kind of stupid anyway. And you're only going to make so much because it's tied to your time. You guys understand that? So we break those barriers. Because you see, with our preferred customer system and with our whole mechanism of, we give you the products. So you go in internet business, you got no products. We give you the products, the technology, the marketing, the fulfillment, the support, the training, a total 360 turnkey package for you to get into business. And when it grows and succeeds, you don't have to handle millions of dollars worth of products because you can bring another unfranchised owner with no dilution. They make their retail profit. They have the same things, and you get 100% credit for their volume. Show me that somewhere else in the world. Maybe it'll hit you on the way home. So we provide it all. Miraculous, non-existent. Without a doubt, we are the most honest, real, and best in the world. Which the world hasn't recognized it. And all that volume from them doing the same thing rolls up to you, with each one of them making the same amount of money. So this is my point. They're not fake. You can't fake this business. And when you are, you're not only destroying the system, it's not going to accomplish the objective. There's no residual volume. You got to keep playing the game. More auctions, more unencumbered volume, more manipulation, more fake people, and it creates a habit, because the more product you get out there that's unencumbered, which means nobody sold it, and by the way, which is prohibited, and by the way, which is also against the law, you know? You think you're going to get me in trouble? No way. You'll go first, believe me. It destroys the stability, the rock solid. Each block, each brick is solid. It's doing all the things necessary to be profitable, to work, and the mortar between those bricks is our system. And profitability, common economic goals. Okay, I'm getting way behind. It's all your fault. But here we are, 26 years later. 26 years later. Started out as an idea. Frank, I remember you in the, what was that? We used to have the Patriot Center, the hotel there. Where was it? Tyson's Corner. I mean, Frank was a rough one to show the plan to. But he got it because he's smart, experienced. He saw it, he got it. 26 years ago, 25, 26 years later, we have an incredible record, incredible growth, incredible volume, incredible friendships, incredible love, sustained success. You don't have to worry about the check coming on Monday or whenever it does, or into your bank account. I used to like to get checks, you know. But at any rate, it's digital age. You don't have to worry. As sure as the sun comes up, that check will be there for 26 years. You know, I don't want to weaken that. You know, but now what we have, and I tried to explain it to you yesterday, we're at the threshold of another revolution. We revolutionized the industry. Everybody tried to copy us and failed. 350 of them in the graveyard. Because they don't know the secret. They don't know what it takes. They don't know how to track it. They don't know how to minister it. They don't know the ratios. They don't know about requirements. But just so you all know, I do know. And if you're doing something wrong and you don't mean to, you need to know why that doesn't work for you or for us. And the right way is the only way. And it ain't bad. So why beat the system if the system works better than what you're doing? Okay, so, but here we are, 26 years of doing this. We've had some great memories, some great times. This is your turn. I had a ball with these people. I love them. I love the money that they make. They make me proud. We did it together. We were all over the country. We traveled together, we worked together, we laughed together, we even got drunk together. And it worked, and we're solid. But now, everything that I talked about back then, the mall without walls, one-to-one marketing, people hate to be sold, but they love to buy. I didn't have what it took to do that, so to keep them, I had to make sure they made money. But now we're there. what's going to happen. This concept can literally change the world. I'm telling you, it's as big as Google. Everybody shops. Today, everybody searches. It's as big as, as Facebook. It's as big as Apple. It's as big as Uber, but much bigger because everybody shops. Everybody doesn't always need a ride, and that's only one market vertical. But they came out of nowhere, matching a ride to a person that needed one and a person to a ride in real time with geo-tracking, and we're going to do the same thing. You believe that? Oh. Okay. If we do together what I showed you yesterday, did you understand the digital aggregation? You each have a group, each is an individual, but there's commonalities because everybody else has a group. And there's so many people in each group because we're connected now. Want the same thing and can order it. We're going to do billions and billions. Commissions are going to go through the roof. It'll spread naturally because when something works like that and saves people money and is easy, they want their relatives to do it. They want their friends to do it. They don't need to recruit anybody. They're not even talking about a business. They're talking about saving money and getting a financial vehicle that'll turn your spent money, gone, you're broke, into a bank account that yields. What about that? That ain't genius. Well, I'm way behind. Okay, so this is the same thing I was saying 20 years ago. Let that roll. 25 years ago.
Or anything that you want, you can get through Market America. The day will come when we'll have food, we'll have sporting goods, sporting wear. Whatever people want to buy, why not? Why not? It just makes your commissions or your income go up.
Yeah, that was 23 years ago. Our first couple years. Same thing I'm saying now. We didn't have what it took to do it then. So I made sure everybody made money. And now here we are. Do you know what that means? What does that say up there? Believe. Come on, put that thing up there. We started out with belief. We had nothing. Nothing. You had to call everybody up in your group to figure out your volume, and some people lied. I could go on and on and on, but we had the MPCP, and we knew that that worked and made sense. So we filled in products as we found them, and we built, and we built. And we had the mall without walls because we kept adding what you wanted, what you found. Some of them lasted, some of them didn't. We found something else. Hey, one year we were doing $60 million in Thermochrome, a product that I came up with that nothing was wrong with, but the FDA is in cahoots, with the medical community and big farm, and they don't like people to take supplements. So they found a football player or baseball player that took too much, and they basically took it off the market, even though the ingredient in it has been used in Chinese medicine for 2,000 years. Well, guess what? Dennis and I came out with OPC3 and isotonics, a couple other products. The next year we did 120 million. You don't get that. Most companies would be tanked if they lost that volume. The system works. One-to-one marketing. Customers, repeat customers, okay? Building a profile, giving them what they want at the best prices. Sometimes I got to tell you about how we price. It's really miraculous. It's always competitive. It always has enough retail profit in it. It always gives the company a minimum profit so we don't go out of business. And the BV is the one I struggle with because it's really hard to keep the BV at 80%, so it slips. But we're going to get back on that and do some things to move it up. And At any rate, look, back then, I want you to open your mind just for 1 second and totally grasp this. If you look at those things, I'm not going to go through them. We had nothing. No literature, no computer system, nothing except belief. And we built together, and we together started adding those things in the blue side, one at a time. Huh? Yeah. Oh, I mean, Frankie, we're always smart. So no products, no product director, no new distributor training. All of that changed. It got solved by us. Do you get it? I'm going to say it one more time. We had nothing. Nothing. And we turned it into something. And we duplicated it into a billion-dollar business. Okay? So, we're in a new chapter. You have been here today and have heard about the shopping annuity, about how it works, about what's going on in the marketplace, that there's a conspiracy against us by the establishment to keep us separate and to charge us as much as they can. And 70% of the cost of the product is not even in the product and is totally unnecessary in a digital age. But nobody has what it takes to fight back, to have a revolution, to take our own economy back. We do. We do. So what that means is this is totally analogous to the beginning. Oh yeah, sure, the shopping annuity needs to get easier. And we need this and we need that. Didn't you see that's what we're doing? It took 20 years or 15 years to get the MPCP and unfranchising products right. So it was really solid and didn't have holes in it. This is going to take 2 years to be as strong and better than that, and it's already good. And it just gets better. So you don't need to make the 15-year, 20-year trip. But they got in then when we had nothing and believed, and we made it happen. What if you get in now? It's something that's exponentially bigger and more powerful. You will be one of them. Do you get it? That's my point. You know, I used to say, one day you'll be able to buy and supply everything you or people want or need. You heard me on that tape. Today, that's a reality. You know, so here we are. 6 things that it takes to become a Google in shopping. 6 things that it takes to be a Facebook, a Apple, a Microsoft. Now, they were extremely smart, but the market was not receptive. They had to make it happen. People didn't understand computers. They've changed everything. You with me on this? Is Vince here? You know, somebody talked to Vince, who was at the beginning of Shop.com when it was catalogs that they put online that you could order from. And their engineers helped make the Amazon marketplace. This guy is a pioneer. He's been through it all. But it wasn't easy, and it was cutthroat. Some people came that far from being a billionaire and just missed by a hair because of the way the venture market was. And it's quite a trip. But you had to have the right things that address the market requirements and the technology requirements in order to even have a chance. Now, nobody else has this. And I want you to understand and remember this moment as I am speaking to you. Because just like I said, it's an idea whose time has come and it'll work because we'll make it work, and we did. It's the same thing at this very moment. If this will work with you or without you, and I will make it work because it's my dream I'm passionate, I'm driven, and I want to make history and leave a legacy. And I want to fill this place with directors. So, all I'm saying is the dream started 26 years ago with these guys. Couldn't quite do it or pull it off, but I made sure they made money. I mean, they made the money. I for sure made sure there was a way to do it. But now, it takes this. In order to convert spending into earning, and everybody shops, and allow them to convert what they're already buying and what they're shopping for and what they use, you need 6 things. 1, a monetized network. Because you have to start with a reach where people can reach people and share it with them and help them. Does that make sense? It has to be monetized because you just don't do it for fun. Although it is fun to do. Okay? Who else has that? Well, you might name some floozy network company or something, but they don't pay what we do. They don't have the system that we have. I guess it could be done through a social media company, but they don't have any monetization for the user. Are you with me following this logic? Universal shopping cart. This is incredible. Now look, I don't want to give a lecture. You can talk to these IT guys. You realize how difficult, how complicated, how sophisticated it is to have a universal shopping cart where you can have as many vendors sell anything, okay? Track it, be fast. You got to be extremely fast, extremely competitive. And all of these components to make sure the vendor gets paid, to make sure you get credited, to process the credit, it's a nightmare. It's almost impossible to do. Very few of them in the world. Amazon, but they ain't got no people power. And us. You might say Shopify, it's a little bit different, but there's only a handful. It's an extremely invaluable asset. And only with it can you do this, because you can't provide people everything that they want. How many people understand that? Okay. Okay? I really want you to understand this, that we are at the threshold of a paradigm shift, which you will be the early adopters of. You will be these people. All I need now is the numbers. That means you voting, you buying the product you vote for because you knew it was a better price and you like it, not making you do something that you don't want to do, and you're not costing you money, it's saving you money. So what other excuse is there? You don't need any money. You already spent the money. You get that? Everything else costs them something. Well, it's going to cost the people to come in late, because this is such an incredible concept and service that when I can prove the numbers of savings, and when I can prove the residual income, Ben, we're going to sell it. I already have the plan. I already know how those people get a residual income, because we're doing it in Great Britain. We're going to sell it to the financial services industry. And it's going to be a $100 to $300 commission for each sign-up. Well, then you get the residual, probably be on a monthly basis, and you're going to make lots of money. But we got to get to first base. Okay. So we have a universal shopping cart, and we have everything that somebody buys. If we don't have it, we can get it because we have the mechanism to do it. And everybody wants sales. That's all they want, sales. So if you want a product, I showed you the numbers yesterday. They need us. So there it is. You just experienced it since convention. We did it, and we delivered. So this is not hypothetical, okay? I know the way it works. When I showed these guys a plan, and we didn't have much. They loved the concept. They believed in it. But you know what? You don't really believe until you get a check. Oh, Santa Claus is real. Follow what I mean? Am I boring you? Going too slow? A tracking system. When people think that we're something that we're not or one of those things, they're totally off. We don't have any levels. We don't redistribute product unless you want to, from person to person to load them up to make commissions, and then they have to sell it. If they don't sell it, they become an Herbalife problem. We don't do that stuff. We're nothing like that. We're a tracking system, just like the movie example. I went to a movie, loved it, lost myself. Went home, told Lauren, man, you know, I'm going to tell a lot of people about this movie. It was so cool. So I started calling them. They didn't act so impressed. But then they went and told their friends next week when they wanted to go to a movie. And 300 people ended up going to that movie because of my big mouth. I didn't make a dime. They spent $20 million, Rocky II, promoting that movie. But they started calling me back, saying, you're right, it was incredible. I said, see, Lauren, the idea of one-to-one marketing and people leading to people and having a database and matching the product that they want to them could really work if I could track it. So I tried to track it, and the people started calling me up. I said, listen, I got an incredible idea, an entrepreneurial idea, and I need your help. I need to be able to talk to the people that you told about the movie. You can call them, I'll call them, we'll see them, whatever. That might work. I need to see if it will work. Well, I got down about 13 levels, 280 people. I said, it works. I'm able to track it. If you can track it, you can automate it. And why two? Because if I paid money to each one of you down this line, we had $10, $1, $1, $1, $1. After $10, we were out of money. You needed a multiplier. I got through grade school. The lowest multiplier is not 2.84. You can't have a fraction of a person. It's 2. You build the 2 lines, everybody gets 100% credit for what everybody buys, and presto. So there was no internet back then, Vince. No internet. I mean, it was an internet, but it was in its infancy. It's more like government stuff. 1991. We opened in 1992. So I bought 100 Commodore 64 computers. And on dial-up modems, strung them up. And everybody would ask their friends, like the people at the movie, what they wanted, what they liked. And I would say 50,000 people wanted this. It started out just with a couple hundred people, but it grew to 50,000 and 100,000, and I had these numbers. So if somebody wants that, we can get it. I'll go negotiate a better price, add value to it. And that's actually how we started. And here we are, 26 years later, ready to conquer the world. But now, it's not that easy to figure out what you buy. Money just disappears and you have a bunch of crap in the cupboard, in the garage, right? So you need a tool. You need a tool that determines what you're spending on what brands, okay? And now we have the deductor program that's going to, with real numbers from your bank accounts and whatnot, feed that in. Makes it a lot easier. And then at the end of the day, we have to make it easy to match and convert. That's where we're working on now. But it works. Just like the plan worked back then. And you're the pioneers. And this is your chance to do it. Will you do it? Will you join me? But that's not enough. All of that is wonderful. But who's going to get paid? How are you going to figure it out? To pay who what, and who give who credit for what? Nobody else has that. Amazon don't have that. Who has it? a financial vehicle or technology to convert into residual income, all of that spending and accumulation of volume. We have it. We have all 6. Nobody else has it. Nobody else can do it. We're 160,000 strong. We're ready to go. Are you going to join me? You know? Wow. I'm so far behind, it's a joke. But I have an ejection button where I jump to the mind stuff and surgery and the funny stuff all of a sudden. And then I'll do the rest of it at convention. I want to get this message across. When there is no competition in a marketplace and it's monopolized because there is no other way to do it, massive abuse occurs. The mass marketing industry, through mass media, brick and mortar, stores, mass distribution, has a monopoly. And they take advantage of you. They charge you much more than necessary. And you'll never have any money, never, unless the consumer buying power goes down because they've saturated the market. It'll never go down because why give up profit? You're still buying it. And they will come out with more gadgets, more new products, not support the old ones. And there's a chip in most things, like a washing machine, where it breaks 1 month before the warranty's up. Now, I actually believe it. And they want to keep us apart, desperately. We cannot connect. We're in different geographic areas. Okay? We're on different time zones. So now they can control us and dictate the price and how we get it and when we get it. Don't they do that? And you end up with no money. The proof is in the pudding. America's spending and debt went up last year. Their income stayed the same. And the price of products was 7% higher increase than inflation. You don't call that getting ripped off? Why? Why did the price of the product have to go up? Because you have a whole chain. People shipping product to, logistically to different locations, huge inventories. When they don't all sell, you know, they got to go to deep discounts. Advertising, branding, brick and mortar, every single one of those people have to be paid. Collaboration deals. The only person that doesn't get paid is us. I'm going to say that again. The only ones that don't get paid are we who pay the bill. Now, isn't it funny guys, how we assume that prices will go up? You just kind of expect it. You don't need it really explained or justified. It's going to go up. Because why? Because it always goes up. Well, why does it go up? There hasn't been inflation. Yeah, but 70% of the cost of that product, well, it can be as low as 50%. It's not even in the product. But nobody's going to give up their piece of distribution, of certification, of the quality control, of the advertising, right? They're not going to do it. So when one bumps up, they all bump up. And you end up paying the bill. Is that fair? Well, why can they do that? They can do that because we're all separate, and they're going to keep us separate. There was no way to come together in one united volumetric consuming consumerate force with the power of numbers to do it. And slowly as we do it, all of those things that they've been doing that add 70% don't become as necessary when they have a company that becomes like a Google, it becomes like a big company. Because they can sell through them. A Walmart, an Amazon. But this is totally different because it addresses the realities and changes the way people shop and changes the economy, where we take back the economy. We can take the economy back under control. The economy, look it up. Do some research yourself. You're in this business. The economy is all of us. When they say there's a recession, they say, what recession? Oh, yeah, this is going up to 10%, 12%. I said, guess what? I refuse to participate. Recession my butt. So, who's this boogeyman in the economy? Have you ever noticed the politicians, the government, the press, all blame things on this invisible boogeyman, the economy? I said, who is this dude? Oh, it's us. It's us. We can take back the economy if we work together, and they can't keep us separate. So that's what happens. That's what happens. They keep us separate. We all spend the highest number separately because we're not connected. And we don't have those 6 things. But now we got the 6 things. You grab the person next to you. Grab them. Come on. Touch them. Touch the person next to you. Hug them. Pinch them. They're real. They're real. We are in this room today. 23,000. What if we come together? I'm telling you, we take back the money. So never before was there a system that connects all of the consumers, all of the little entrepreneurs that have an economic reason and profit motive to do this, saving people money. You know? We're there, huh? Let this slide finish. Isn't that cool? But I'm trying to get you to conceptually understand what we have together. What we have together can change the world. But it can't change the world without 10,000 people that started it, that led to the customers getting rich at nobody's expense and at nobody's loss. As pure as it can be. That's what we're doing. I hope you believe. Okay. I can't believe, Vince Lombardi used to say, we never lose, the clock just runs out. Well, the bell rang, you got another class. But this class is brain surgery. So I'll give you the rest of it a little bit later. Okay, put me where I am. Oh boy, that was a lot of good stuff I didn't get to hit. Man. You know what the good news is for me? I don't have to make anything up or develop anything for next time. It's already done. We're never done. I used to have this hang-up that I had to tell them everything because I want you to know so badly. And I know that the only thing better than believing is knowing. So Princeton University, many years ago, did some research. They have a department of psychokinesis. And they published a article, in psychology and psychiatric journals, that they had measured and verified that a creative thought or a decision took 1/1000th of a volt to spark across the cerebral cortex. And that literally could change a person's life. You ever hear made up my mind, changed my mind, got an epiphany? Huh? That's what they're talking about. Now, the funny thing is, every single one of you have a brain. and you have a soul. Now, the depth of the soul or the karma or the belief or the passion or the love affects the brain. But the brain is designed as a computer. It's more than a computer. To get you what you want automatically. And it works. You know, every scripture, every religion has the same true message. God created man in his own image. Now, what does that mean? That means that unlike animals, and he gave him dominion over all the animals and all the creatures of the earth. What that means is, like God, as an individual ray, he gave you the right to choose. Animals don't choose. They're conditioned. Listen to this. Number one, do you agree with that? He gave you the ability to think. And he gave you the ability to create. And with that, there's an expectation that you will do that. Make decisions. Right decisions. Right thinking. Huh? Are you getting this? I mean, this is very deep. You can't escape it because you were born and God don't make no junk. You see? And you have a mind. You have that brain. And it's already set up to get you everything that you want. Your soul's desire. And you work real hard screwing it up. And it's out of ignorance. And I don't really get mad at a person that's ignorant. I get mad at a person who's intelligent and does the wrong thing. But you just don't know how it's programmed. Now, if you don't know how to program your brain, listen to this now. It gets programmed itself from the environment, from what it hangs out with, from what it hears all day long, from the gossip, the BS, the stupid entertainment. So that's why you end up the way you are. It ain't really your fault. Your brain manifested what you are, what your brain's been programmed. Do you believe that? I'd love to debate somebody on it. Okay. There's two things from the brain. You see, it's programmed. You either have right thinking or wrong thinking. If you have wrong thinking, nothing's going to happen right. You see? Now, what stimulates your thinking? You ever wonder, how do I get a thought? How do I get a thought? Okay. Well, it comes from your identity. It's basically based on what you've been programmed up to this point to believe you are and feel that you are. You know, it's like the scorpion thing. It's like these guys here are no different than you, and I know them. I know when they started. They weren't that great. But they programmed their brain and did the right things. And they started to see and believe and understand intellectually and logically how they were going to get to that level by what they did each day, each week, and each month. And they accepted it. And when you accept something, that's when two or more come into agreement. Your brain and your life. And then if the circumstances aren't even right, I'm going to show you this in a minute, the brain attracts them. So, Earl Nightingale said, you know who Earl Nightingale is? Okay. He studied under Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Anything that the mind of man can achieve and believe, it can achieve. So he studied all the people that Think and Grow Rich was about. And he said, there's a strange secret amongst this, the strangest of secrets that he discovered and documented. You become what you think about all the time. Now, I was 20-something when I read that, and it took forever for him to get to the point. Build up and build up. Finally, okay. I said, that couldn't possibly be true, or I would be a girl. Right? Okay. I met this multi-level, floozy, effervescing, lovable, crazy girl through Bobby Canada. She was something special. So I know how to program brains because I program my own. But it's really a lot of work to program somebody's brain who's not receptive to it or won't listen. For some reason, she would listen. Still amazes me. So we worked on programming her brain to make her into a hopeless success. Now, I got to take a little bit of credit. Although she worked very hard, built the whole business, was the most incredible leader, she was a hopeless success. It couldn't go any other way because her brain was programmed. And wait, you don't believe this? You think it's hocus pocus? I can prove it to you. Every single one of your brains are programmed. And the proof is, it's programmed to give you exactly what you have right now. And that's why you are where you are. End of story, bottom line, closed case. Now, I can prove it to you by arguing with you. Oh, no, you can do more. How many of you think that you're living up to your full potential, that you can do more? Because you could die tomorrow and never live up to your potential. What a sad thing. Okay. I can prove it to you. If I argue with you why you can make twice as much money as you are now, be freer, help more people, be loved, you're going to argue with me. Yeah, but this, yeah, but that. Ben, what's your story? I'd love to argue with you. He's one of the most incredible recruiters I've ever seen in my life. But, you know, I'm not going to pick on Ben. Who do you want me to pick on? Because it's absolutely true and applicable to every single person in here. You are exactly where you are, have what you have, the problems you have, the joys you have, everything about you is because your brain was programmed at that level. That doesn't mean it can be changed, can't be changed, but identity is what it's all about, because that drives the brain automatically. And it's why it's so hard to change. You can't change your behavior. Try it. That's why it's so hard to lose weight. You can't be a fat person trying to lose weight. You got to see yourself as a fit person. You see what I'm saying? You got to come from that. You got to do what a director does all the time. And what you used to hate, you now love. And what you used to fear, you're great at. Don't show the plant for 3 days. You get, what do you call that? Withdrawal. You used to hate to work out. Many of you may have experienced this. But you start working out, and those, or morphins or whatever, work on you, and you run every morning. You cannot not run. You're in pain. What used to be pain is now joy. And this is what happens when the brain gets programmed. What you were bad at, you're good at. It's a miracle. Every one of you has a brain and a soul. And the brain has the same features. You say, well, some people are more intelligent than others. Oh, I got a good one on that. It's actually been proven scientifically that a brain properly programmed and fed the right information and forced to think and have logic can double its intelligence, its IQ. I got you on that one, So, if you sit around and read cartoons and dirty magazines and listen to gossip all day and the negative news, your brain is being programmed whether you know it or not. When Lauren and I slip and say something, like can't do that or, oh, this might happen, we say cancel, delete. Cancel, delete. When somebody around us talks negatively, gloom and doom and critically, we take a mental vacation from them. Because I'm not letting them program my brain. You know, well, you say, well, you know, my relatives don't really understand the business, and they're my relatives, and, you know, they don't think it'll work, and they think it's one of those things or something. And your good friend that you've been with for 15 years comes over every day at 5 to have a cocktail. Such a habit. Can't possibly miss it. And all they do is gossip. And when you tell them about the business with excitement, they say, oh, that'll never work. Who do you think you are? You'll never make it. What are you, crazy? Change the world with a shopping annuity. You lost your mind. Who you been hanging out with? Oh, yeah? Let me tell you something. You are going to make it. And you know what? I had a friend like that, and when I made it, I saw him last year, bumped into him. JR, wow, look at you, man. Big boats, big houses, big business, you know, oh, good press. Boy, you are the shiznag. I said, the what? The shiznag. Holy. I said, really? Does that mean you want to get in now? Oh, no, you know, I'm too busy. And so, I said, well, weren't you the same guy that 20 years ago, when I was first starting, I sat down and showed the plan and asked you to help me be introduced to some people. And you told me I was absolutely crazy and it would never work. Yeah, but, you know, you're lucky. Look at you. You're fortuitous. When you make a lot of money, you get with affluent people, they use these words. You're fortuitous. That's why you're affluent. So whatever. I made it and you didn't. You know? But this guy goes on and on and on, and he says, yeah, but you know, I'm so glad that you were lucky. Really, he hates it. I said, you know what, Ben, I have been thinking about, no, Ben would never do this. You know what, Joe? I've been thinking about what you're saying. First, I was insulted. And then I started to think about it, and you're absolutely right. I am lucky. I'm lucky I didn't listen to your ass. You know? You know, so what are you going to do? You know, so get ready for this. If you program your brain like I'm going to show you right now, stuff's going to start to happen. You can't even control it. But you have to program your brain. And if you don't program it, it gets programmed for you by others and the environment. So you end up where you are. That's why you are right there, right now. But if you take control of that, okay, everything is going to change. You know, so people look at me and they say, you know, how did you become, you know, so successful? I worked real hard and I programmed my brain. I'd give you the program, but you don't know how to program. And it changed my identity. So it was fun to do the things I did. Well, you've been a workaholic. So you're a little confused. I'm a playaholic. I'm a playaholic. I play hard and I work hard, but I love my work so much. It's so much fun. I don't know where play starts and work ends, or the vice versa. I'm just having fun. And, you know, well, I think it's like a pyramid. And I think like you take advantage of people. And I had my aunt and something like that, and I'm telling you, it didn't work. She lost her blouse. I mean, they go on and on and on and on, you know? Well, you know, but now you're successful. I always thought when I started out, I had nothing. Very lower middle class family, great parents, great Hall of Fame football coach, nurse, great little neighborhood, played sports, but I had nothing, no money. I thought if I made it, if I pulled myself up by my bootstraps and made it, I would be a rock star amongst my peers for proving that it could work. It was the biggest surprise of my life. I really didn't care anymore when I got there, but they called me a rich bastard. A rich bastard? I never had no silver spoon in my mouth. Yeah, but look at you, man. You got all the money in the world. So they expect to take advantage of me because I'm one of them rich bastards. I'm telling you the truth. I mean, I'm still shocked by it. There's another type of prejudice against money, and it shouldn't be that way for people that didn't have it and made it. Now, let me tell you why people criticize you, and why they undermine you, and why they deprogram you, and why they get you off course, and why they hurl incense, and why they insult you, and why they show you disrespect. I'm going to tell you why. Because if you make it, you prove to them that it can be done against all odds. And you made it anyway, and it challenges and exposes their mediocrity. So they're better off discouraging you not to make it, hoping to blow you out so that they don't have to do anything with their life. Don't you ever forget that. You put that in the program. Well, for some reason, I'm getting stuck on everything I've done here today. But, so let's go program the brain. So everybody has one of these. And where are the slides on this? You move me. I just want to go all the way to the diagrams. So God created you in his own image. He gave you a brain and a soul. The brain can affect the soul and what it does and how life turns out. But the soul can spark the brain to start to develop an identity. The identity is going to control your behavior. Your behavior doesn't control your identity. You're not going to go out and build the business and act and be like a director until your identity becomes that way. Do you understand this? It's not the reverse. So you have to get your brain programmed so that you have the identity of what you wish you could be. Is this making any sense? Yeah. Okay. Now, your identity punishes you for behaving out of line with your identity. So if you're trying to stop smoking, as an example, and your behavior is yearning, okay, your behavior will beat you up because you don't have the identity of a non-smoker. And it'll win every time. In the business, you know what to do maybe, you're excited, but you don't do the things that are necessary, and you make excuses, and you get off track, and you get diverted. It's because your identity is not a director yet. You're not programmed to be one. Is this making sense? So God created us in His own image. And every scripture has this in it, regardless of the religion. Yeah. Ask and you shall find. Seek, I'm not saying it exactly right. Seek and it will be given to you. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. For he who believes, all things are possible. And it's fulfilled every time. And you all have a brain. Look, you may not have bought the right model, but that brain is about the same in every one of you. And it has certain mechanisms in it that when programmed will always produce the same result. The difference of results for different people is what they programmed it for. You can't even do anything about it. And if you don't program it, it gets programmed by your environment and those negative people who don't want their mediocrity exposed that bash you, and that's why you don't get there. That's not right, and that's not fair. And you have to get committed to programming your own brain. Because if you want the business, we can figure out how to get there. Be around the right people. Feed it the right information. Feed it the logic. Feed it the motivation. Feed it the belief. Come to these events. Why am I going over all this stuff? I'm tricking you. I'm tricking you. I'm programming your brain. If I program it long enough, you're all going to be directors. So, being that you have a brain, you think. Your identity sparks up ideas. It comes from your identity, though. You don't think about things that you don't care about or know about, right? The beautiful thing about the brain, when it awakens and you get ideas, you get to argue with yourself. Like when I first wanted to start the company, and Lauren called me out and said, it's an incredible idea. It makes so much sense. Why don't you just do it? I mean, she believed in me so much and irritated me so much, I ended up doing it. But I was arguing, oh, it's an idea whose time has come. You should do it. Yeah, but nobody's ever done it before. Well, there's got to be someone the first one. They make the most money. Yeah, but I might go bankrupt. Yeah, but everybody needs this. Everybody wants it. Don't worry about those dumb things. Yeah, you're such a silly fool. You don't have any money. How are you going to get the thing off the ground? Back and forth, back. You ever do that? That's a really good thing. Have the argument. Get the logic. Come to believe it or reject it logically. That goes way down into the programming of the brain. Okay? So when you come to believe it by visualizing it, if you can see the end result and feel it, it's dangerous, deep-level programming. It starts to take over your identity. You don't even know what's happening, but you feel different. You used to have to have an alarm clock to get up. You wake up yourself all excited because you got stuff that you want to do. Visualize, focus, and concentrate on that identity and that dream and that wish and that hope. And it starts to crystallize. And it goes way down deep into the brain. When that becomes belief, you are motivated to commit. The hardest part is committing to keep your commitments because of emotions and habits and diversions. And it's a battle. But if you keep your commitment, just as a point that I love Mark, he went, what is it, vegan, whatever it is. He doesn't, yeah. I mean, that's really hard to do, especially when you're traveling in restaurants. He is committed to keep his commitment, him and Maria. That's hard to do. But see, if you can do that and you're at this point, you're going to go all the way. It's going to take over. Little you, right out there, I'm talking to you. and you and you. Every single one of you. I am talking to you. I lived this. I experienced it. And I've experienced it with other people. I experienced it with Elizabeth Weber. So, when you accept it, this is a really weird thing. When you accept it as being a reality, in your mind's eye, in your heart, and in your gut, you actually not believe it, you accept it. It's done. All things are possible unto he who believes. Seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be answered, or, knock and it shall be open unto you. It actually is true. Even if the circumstances are wrong, they appear. You attract people, epiphanies, accidents. You know how a lot of people always say, something's bad's bound to happen. I'm out of money again. I'm always broke. You got to change what you're saying. You're programming your brain. Money loves me and I love money. And money is not the root of all evil. The lack of money is. You see what I mean? But you can't even say something like that when you accept it. When you accept it, it's not even in you. You can't even think of it. You hear me? So here it goes. Once you accept it, you have to demonstrate it. You want to demonstrate it. What you used to hate to do, you love to do. What you used to be afraid of, you're no longer afraid of. When you are demonstrating. So whatever you set as your dream and your goal, you can make yourself believe it by programming. And then when you are immersed in it, you'll come to accept it. I'm telling you the most important thing that you can ever learn over all the other business building techniques. This is the magic of life. This is why I'm here. That's why she's there. It's absolutely monstrous. And God gave it to every single one of us. And it's the best kept secret in the world. When you accept it, you are required to demonstrate it. The reason Jesus could walk on water is not only because he was God, but he accepted in a human body that he was empowered to do it, and therefore he demonstrated it by trying, and it manifested as a reality. Now the same thing happens, Ben, when you bought your house. I was real proud of Dennis. We're taking that idea, having their picture in the Hall of Fame, having played. It was an idea. Today he stood on stage with the book, with the contract, and with the deals, and with the Eagles in the Super Bowl. It's going to be a bestseller. But it wasn't even real 3 months ago. It was an idea. Ideas are seeds. They're real things. And when that code is put into the computer and you believe it and then accept it and program your brain and then take the bold step of putting it into action, doing something, demonstrating it, then the cycle is complete because you are demonstrating what you accepted. And you accepted what you believed. And the idea that was only an idea is a real material thing. And in the law of materialization, that's how everything comes to be. Whether it be a skyscraper, an Olympic athlete, or you hitting field vice president. If you never think it, and then you don't develop it to a belief, and don't then accept it, it shall never happen. But regardless of your ability, regardless of your past, if you do that, it'll manifest. You're a hopeless success. You cannot fail. But you actually have the ability and the power to make a conscious decision to do this. Because it all begins with what's programmed in the brain. What you listen to, what you see, what you hear, who you hang out with. You have a choice. And you have control over it. The only thing that I can do, I don't have no time. I can hardly read anymore because there's a stack of papers on my desk in the morning and reports that big. My eyes get sore. But when I work out, or when I go for a drive, or I have to go somewhere, the only thing in the world that you can do two things at once is listen to an audio. So I'm programming my brain. I like to figure, kind of like Warren Buffett. He gets things and he figures and plays with the numbers and looks for multiples and the probability of that multiple being able to be executed. That's what I do with the business. But it then becomes like real to me. Holy moly, this can really work. So see, the problem with belief is that your subconscious and your bad programming, now listen to this one. Steve, good to see you. Okay. When this one happens, okay, and your brain is going to argue with you. Now, how can you be a director? You don't even know the people. Where are you going to get the people from? And you work 7 hours, 8 hours a day, and you got to drive for an hour or two. You know, where are you going to get the time? So your brain, your negative programming, your old identity starts arguing with you. And when you go around to people, and your mother hears that you're doing this thing, she says, how do you know you're going to make any money tonight? You got kids. You got to be responsible. Start beating you down. You know, somebody else says, you never made it before. I mean, how are you going to make it? You're going to quit your job and do this? Your brain needs logic. Logic. Or the subconscious brain will reject it and not accept it. You hearing me? So you have to add the logic to give strength and power to that positive subconscious, that emergent identity. Well, here's how I'm going to do it. I've broken it down over a year to what I got to do each month. Because your brain don't know how you're going to get from 0 to 10,000 or 15,000 income and 2 solid legs with all those people. It can't explain it to you. So when somebody says, where are you going to get the people? How are you going to do that? You have no answer. So what happens? You begin to doubt. So when you doubt, that's when Jesus sinks in the water. There can be no doubt. There is no doubt because you've accepted. But the logic, well, his logic was, I'm God. You follow what I mean? And so apparently it was true because he did it. Well, you can't walk on water unless you know where the stepping stones are right below the water. You catch that one on the way home. But do you get this? You need to provide your brain, your conscious brain, logic, so that the subconscious and that identity that's developing doesn't reject the acceptance of that dream because you can't explain it. Do you admit you have to be able to explain stuff to your brain? So that's why we have a goal statement. What's a goal statement? What do you want? Without a date, it's meaningless, so when do you want it? You might have to change the date when you figure it out. Further back, up sooner, but they have to match. Third thing, okay, what do you have to do yearly, monthly, break the month down into weeks, into the day? Why? You cannot do a week at a time. The seventh day comes, you didn't make it, you didn't do anything. You can only take life one day at a time. But if you hit the daily goal, automatically you hit the monthly goal. The monthly goal automatically adds up to the annual goal. I mean, the yearly goal. Where was I? Month, week, month, year. They add up. They automatically do it if you do the daily goal. Now your brain says, they're just little steps. I can do that. Okay. So you have to have a goal statement. Why? It programs your brain, and you got to read it twice a day. You're not too busy to read it. You're too stubborn to succeed. So, I'm telling you something. It's magic. It's God's gift. He gave you the brain, and you're not programming it. Every single person in here can be a director by applying this. Absolutely guaranteed. You become a hopeless success. So, this brain's got cool features. First of all, when you think and it makes sense, and you get an idea, an inspiration, that billionth of a volt snaps across your cerebral cortex. You see that? So every day, I think creatively. Make a decision. Have an epiphany, because I am constantly focusing on it, exploring. And that programs the inner brain. That idea that comes from nowhere. And then I work on it, and it makes sense. Are you following me? Does this make sense to you? Well, every one of you have a brain. But you're listening to too much gossip, too much negative. You haven't sat down and think about what you really want in your life. You haven't defined your identity. Who are you? Who are you? Not what your mother told you were, not what your wife or husband told you were, not what your friends were. Who are you? You get to decide who you are. Nobody else. So, the brain has insights. The light bulb goes off. You're listening to me. Maybe the light bulb went off now. Wow, wow, that makes sense. Where's the light bulb? You see that? Now, when that brain gets programmed, and it really feels it, it's impossible not to succeed. You say, oh, that's hocus pocus. It's like magic. What if the circumstances aren't right? I don't have any money. I can't travel. I got to watch the kids, and, grandma's sick and she won't watch them. And I ain't, I don't have, it's the invisible train kicks in. When things won't work and you're on that train, opportunities appear. People knock at your door. People make offers. It's the most amazing thing in the world. Anything that I think of, I tell Lauren, we cannot look at any more real estate or boats. Prohibited. Because when we look at them and like them, it just happens. It's how we're so in tune to it. See? I wonder if you doubt that the shopping annuity will be the next paradigm shift and will change the world, and we will become a Google-like financial, economic instrument to allow people to take back the economy and to have a residual income. And it will sweep the world. You want to make a bet? You want to make a bet? I got enough money to bet each one of you in here $10,000. You got to pay up, though, when you lose. It's destined. It's certain. I made a deal with God. He hooked up with me. You don't stand a chance. Mass marketing is abusing people. I'm doing the right thing. And I have all 6 things. I understand how it's going to happen. I have a shortcut. The 23,000 people here join me. And the exponential curve at 23,000 is monstrous. We will sweep the world overnight. You still don't believe me. I can feel it in you. You want to believe it, but you can't. Okay, so this brain, even though there's no circumstances and there's no way to do it, this brain has a magnet, superconscious power. If we all think alike and believe and have integrity and good intentions, The mass consciousness will make it happen in the world automatically. But this brain, what am I doing wrong? What happens with this brain? This is amazing. It attracts the right circumstances. Where's that magnet? It attracts the right, I don't see it. But it's like, have you ever wanted something and it appeared out of nowhere? Have you ever had some ideas or thought about somebody and you said, I need to call them. And the next day they call you. Have you ever said, I've been thinking about you? I've been thinking about you. Okay? And all of a sudden they show up. How many people have had those experiences? Okay, you don't even program your brain and it's working anyway. You experience that. The brain is magnetic. It attracts like signals. It brings to you what you want. Why does an abused woman get abused repeatedly? Huh? Because she attracts it by her thinking. She needs to change her identity like you did. You follow what I mean? Why does Elizabeth and Ben get all the people and good ones? Why does Frank Kiefer sponsor a relatively small number of people that are giants? It's the way he thinks. He attracts it. You're a hopeless success. You can't help it. It's not your fault that you're so rich. That's a good one. Do you believe this? But look, the problem is you're not going to experience it and never really know it unless you try it. What do you got to lose? For 3 months. Okay. There's a radar scope. See that back there? Your brain, see it back there? It comes equipped, it's standard equipment in every single brain. You start programming it, it creates an awareness, a sixth sense of what will work and what won't. You get a hunch. I think I should go see Bobby Cannata. On the way, does he not only inspire you, but you meet 3 people that want to do the business that he doesn't have time to deal with. So he gives them to you under him. That's downline placement, by the way. Do you get this? The most miraculous things happen. Your group is stagnant. All of a sudden, out of the clear blue sky, the whiteds come back. Wow. I was just thinking about them. I'm telling you, I know that you have it happen all the time. But it's not happening to you because you have not programmed your brain. You have not put the idea, the thought, the dream, the wish, the mission in there and visualized it and thought about it and feel it so that you believe it. And be around people that believe it because it might make it easier for you to believe it. And then, all of a sudden, you're understanding it and you're getting knowledge and you're using logic and you're figuring out how to do it. Now the brain is really revving up. Make it spark. I mean, it's woo! And that never happened before because you never programmed it. Okay. Okay, so everybody has one. It all comes with standard equipment. It doesn't work if you don't program it or you get the wrong thing because it's programmed wrong. And that's why you are where you are. But we can change all of that. Okay, where's those slides? I just want to pop through them real quick. Let me show you the code to the programming. Where is those slides I was on? I'm going to jump forward, don't worry. Has this been good so far, or am I wasting your time? Okay. You know, I don't really know. I can feel when somebody listens to me, and I give more and more and more until I fry their brain. But when I don't know, I protect myself. I don't care. If you overhear something that works, you succeed. But it's not meant for you. So if I offended you, I was talking to myself. Right? So the what if exercise. These are things that start to stimulate the brain to catch a hold of an idea that's connected to your soul. Because you don't think that way. You have to break the pattern. You're locked into a negative pattern, a non-productive thinking pattern. You're being hit with gossip and problems all day long. And your brain is being programmed wrong, and that's why you're getting a bad result. If you had a brain like mine, you'd be dangerous. But you have the brain, and you can do it. And you don't want my life and my style and my dreams. You only want my money. It's a joke. So what if? What if I could own an island? What if I didn't have to live in one place all year? What if I could put my kids in private school? What if I could have a yacht and not need a home and sail around the world? What if I could be a field vice president? What if I was a leading person in the shopping annuity and became famous and helped millions of people break free and supplement their income? You know how good it feels to stand before a group of people when we started in a house and a couple guys believed in me, and it turns in to 2-3 times a year, 23,000 people that come out. It's an awesome responsibility, and I hope that I'm delivering because I am so impressed. But what if you were a field vice president and had that income? You know? So we programmed the brain, a thought, an idea, a belief, an acceptance, a demonstration. Then we manifest that because we demonstrated it. That means doing it. There's a big problem in short circuit, syntax error, program crash, bug, when you accept it and then don't have demonstration. It's a contradiction. It reverses the program and erases it. You with me? You must act on that and demonstrate that it's done. Because that's what acceptance is. It really is done metaphysically, spiritually. All you need to do is take the next step. So you are a hopeless success. So let's look at this. Dreams have to become goals. Dreams are only dreams because you don't know how to get them. I don't have any dreams except one. And that's to change the world through the shopping annuity and to change the economy. But goals are something that you already have worked out. It's just a matter of going through the steps. Now the brain really likes that. It doesn't like weird languages. It likes things that it understands. So you program it with that, and you think, and you brainstorm, and you write it down. When was the last time you really thought and brainstormed and explored and vetted something? Now you got the TV show. I got to watch, this, and I have to have drinks with Susie Doo, and she got a lot of good, fresh gossip. Well, that's what you program your brain with. Break it down. Visualize it in your mind's eye. Get a dream board. Dream board takes a lot of work. It's a blast. It is fun, dangerous too, because you're visualizing and programming your mind with emotion and choice. You're going to become a hopeless success. You better not do that. You better go back and gossip. Break it down then. Now that you have the dream board, you visualize it. Break it down, because most people, when they get to that point, this is shocking. Your big advantage. They have no way, no vehicle, no method, no business to make it happen. They have to find it. Do you know how hard it is to figure out a business that'll work and then put it together? You guys listen to me? You already have it. For other people, it's just starting. They haven't even got anything. You better go sponsor them. Okay? So think. I decide what I want. Your wife doesn't decide for you. You can have separate things together and be happier and more motivated. Custom-made life. When was the last time you thought about your custom-made life? You got a lot of problems, a lot of crap going on, a lot of unfair things. I feel it. It's terrible to have unfair things happen to you. But you expect them. That's why they come to you. Well, something's going to go wrong today. You know, by the time convention comes around, I bought 3 tickets. I ain't going to have the money to pay for them. I better find a way to sell them. Oh, that's all the wrong programming. You getting this? Ben Ginder bought 90 tickets the first time I met him. I didn't know who he was. I called him Ben Ginder. 100. Check for 90 grand or something. I said, who is this guy? This thing's going to bounce. Somebody said, he's already a director. He's that little guy that's kind of like, he feels British. You know, he's got all them expensive cars. Well, Ben sponsors, he knows a business guy or a guy from the past. He gets an exotic car, he drives up at dinner time, parks it in front of their house so they can't get out. He comes in and starts asking them a lot of questions. Now, how'd that business go? What are you doing with that? What if I could show you a way to double that and liquidate? I mean, you know, he does it. But it's part of that brain. Think. The most important thing in programming the brain is self-talk. I'm going to tell you a little secret. People that don't talk to themselves are crazy. People that don't talk to themselves are crazy. They're dangerous. They might do anything. I talk to myself all the time. Lauren talks to herself all the time too. That's why when I talk to her, she don't hear me. You know? I have debates in my mind. I have a board of directors in my mind. You know? They're, Winston Churchill. I meet with them in my brain and have debates and discussions. What would Abraham Lincoln say about this? And then he speaks. And it's really, I have a blast. Well, meanwhile, you're gossiping. I'm having a party in my brain that's going to make millions. You know? This is what we do. I like to get Joe on the slopes because he's a great skier. He's a little bit prettier than me, but we can get down anything together. Because I get his brain going, you know, and sparks start flying. Because that brain, when it thinks incredible ideas. You realize that Google was an idea? Amazon was an idea? Well, they say, how is a shopping annuity going to be that big? Nobody's ever done it before. I said, that's the good news. Spark that thing. Zap it. Ah, that's the one. Woo, the genius idea. The genius idea. Are you guys with me? I'm going to tell you something. You all got brains. You all can think. You all can program your brain, and you already have the way to do it. You're way ahead of the game. Self-talk. I talk to myself all the time. I had debates. Self-talk and what people say to you that you listen to is like the keyboard, programming the brain. When I hear something that I don't like, I say cancel. I disagree. When somebody does it all the time, Lauren and I take a mental vacation from them. And they say, you know, you want to discuss? No, I'm taking a mental vacation from you. You're mentally constipated, all stopped up. It really does stink, and it's affecting my thinking. Meanwhile, while you stink, I'm going to get rich. Yeah. So everything that you see, hear, touch, smell, taste programs your brain. How do you know what chocolate ice cream tastes like unless you tasted it? How do you know what spinach tastes like unless you taste it? You don't know if you like it or not. How do you know driving a new Rolls Royce, first one in the country, isn't something that you really like? Because you never experience it. The only learning is experiential. How do you know that you don't really get addicted to showing the plan? Because when you get up there and you're communicating with people and looking into their eyes and feeling what they feel, and it's clicking in their brains, you like it. You become addicted to helping people make it. What a great addiction. You see? This is what it's about. Oh, come on, guys. Let's have some fun. Let's become hopeless successes. I don't know how I'm going to get all this done. I guess I packed 50 pounds in a 10-pound bag. So logic, you need the logic. You need the attitude. This all works systematically. Do you see it? And in the middle of the brain is this creative cycle. So when you wish and you take logic, you turn it into a goal, the brain understands it's either a negative program or a positive program. A positive program explains to the subconscious and the thinking brain how it's going to happen so that the subconscious cooperates. Is this making sense to you? The crazy thing is, every single person in there has a brain and the ability to program. And if you don't program, it gets programmed anyway, and that's why you are where you are. Oh, man. I got to pop through this. So, inside this brain, when do we get to the movie? I'm going to take Elizabeth into this brain and show you how we program it. But in here, the limbic mind, there's part of the brain that has just been discovered that no other mammals lower than a human being have. And it's kind of like clairvoyance, intuition, premonitions. All of a sudden, something you've been wrestling with for a year, an epiphany comes, and automatically it's solved. Has anybody ever experienced that? Well, see, it's because it's the truth. And when you program that brain, it activates it. And it turns on the magnet. It turns on the radar. It turns on that drive. We don't have an alarm clock. We do a ceremony once a month where we bash the alarm clock because we are no longer controlled. Even though we work 14, 16, 17 hours a day, it's not because we have to, it's because we want to. We don't need an alarm clock in the morning because we get up when we want, but usually it's early. At 8 or 9 o'clock if we went to bed at 4. I'm not tired. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I got to get to the other stuff. But at any rate, so you guys know how to build the business. Can you guys, I'm not going to do everything that I did, but can you guys jumping to the top of the stairs. Now, when you get into this business, you get an unfranchise. And it has everything that you need to make as much money as you want. But you have to prime the pump. When I was a Boy Scout, an Eagle Scout, we were out on a hike, got stuck out there for 10 hours. The parents didn't show up. We had to get water. Scoutmaster sent me out behind the house. We found a pitcher pump. And I started pumping on it, pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping. And you could hear the water gargling. He said, man, that's a deep well. That's an artesian well. It's going to be really cool, sweet water. We got to prime it. So he sent somebody down to get a bucket of water. And I'm pumping and pumping and pumping and sweating. And he poured it in and goosh, it came out. But the point is, it has the power and the mechanical ability to create unlimited water. But you got to put something into it before you get it out. And it's just like the business. When we do the Basic 5 and we do the recruiting and the retailing and base 10-7 strong and do the ABC pattern, we're pumping. But once it catches, you don't have to work so hard. And you have unlimited water, residual income for the rest of your life. Do you understand that? Nobody else has that. So, put up one of those slides of multi-level or other businesses. You have to pump 10 pumps at once. And I demonstrate it. 10 pumps at once to make what you would make in this business with one pump that automatically pumps two, called a binomial pump. And that's what we've created. It's a masterpiece. Other people got to do 10. We got to do one. Are you listening to this? And if you can't do one, Lord knows you can't do anything else. You get that? There's nothing that you have to do less in well to make more money than this. So we have the binomial pump where we set up just two. And so I can re-enter, I can sponsor people, but I only have to prime one pump because you can build them both at the same time and the system automatically makes it work. So once it hits, you're making $109,000 or more per year. And then I can add them. But my point is, it takes work. You got to prime it, but hallelujah, at least your work pays off when it's real, because it's going to pay you for the rest of your life while you're doing whatever. Oh, how do you know the rest of my life? Well, I don't know. You might die tomorrow. Or you might be in for 26 years, 25 years, 20 years, and get that check every Monday. It's more reliable than the sun coming up. Do you understand that? That's what you got. Well, you know, are you willing to do a little work and follow a system and prime these unfranchised pumps? Can you do it? Is it within your reach? Now, you don't want it to be fake. You want it to last. And some people got the idea, you know, I have another way of doing this. I figured out a way not to have to do the work. I don't know where it went, but I am going to work on my computer every night. It used to be the TV. I told people the thing that prevents you from succeeding in the business is the TV, the one-eyed monster. Oh, I can't do meetings tonight. This is 20 years ago. I got to see Sex and the City. It's on tonight. Holy, really? We need to throw that TV away. I used to do it in here. I used to take the TV, throw it, and break it. Is that what I'm supposed to throw, or is it, huh? And I said, you know why? I ain't going to watch Sex in the City. I'm going to hit that check, and I'm going to go to the city and do Sex in the City with my wife. You know? Instead of watching it, somebody else on TV. You see? So, for some reason, though, people got the wrong idea. They thought, I see how this works. I have the back office, this incredible tool. I can go in and prime other people's pumps with water that came from there. They really don't have any artesian well, but we can get the water from there and pour it down the pumps and earn the money. Does that sound like a good idea? Well, why not? Why not? Because they're really not primed, and they really won't last. And they're taking the water from the other pumps. And that's somebody else's pumps that did it right. So we get a little angry at these pumps because this is so beautiful. And not only is this hurting other people, what it's doing is having people think they're going to get a residual income when it's impossible at somebody else's expense for a short-term money grab. And it destroys the well. It destroys the system. So, you know, I can start pumping these, and I can work 3 hours a night on the computer. I can get auctions set up. I can get people to ship to the same address and pump and pump and pump. And it looks like I'm making money. Pretty cool. I'm getting checks. I hit levels. But it really came from those. And the hard work they did to tap an artesian well, residual income for the rest of their life, starts to dwindle because they're draining it. Looks like they're pumping, but they're at their computer. Well, you know what? I'm not going to let people take away what we've spent 25 years to build, and dreams and a great life has come together in this community. And I'm going to take those pumps because, you see, they're not real. You can't break those pumps. They're not real anyway. No more. No more fake pumps. Where's the clock? The little clock. You know why? Those people, I'm not angry at them. I'm not angry at them. But I'm not going to let those people get hurt. Because we had too many memories, too many good times, too many friendships, too many dreams come true, and too many friends to let it see it go away. And only when you do that do you no longer need an alarm clock, because you got residual income. My whole life was controlled by bells, orders, pushed around, threatened. Whew, man, is your life like that? You hate when that alarm clock goes off. I hated it so bad. I pumped and I pumped and I pumped with these guys. Then I didn't have to answer a bell. But see, Lauren and I took on the 45-year plan by accident so that you could have the 2 to 3 year plan. And we need to remind ourselves, we don't do it because we have to. We do it because we want to, because it's our passion. We get joy out of it. But we're doing it because we want to. And it gives us empowerment, gives us joy. but I don't have to do it. So that can be a little confusing, right? I got to program my brain right. I have to feel the emotion. I have to feel the satisfaction. You getting this? So just to remind us, we're doing it because we want to and not because we have to. We smash that alarm clock once a month. You can do the same thing. You can do the same thing. Okay, so what you guys need to do is understand how long you've been in the business. I'm coming in for a landing now. You have to understand it. You have to understand that you program your brain wrong. You tell a terrible little fib lie to cover your butt. It's a terrible thing. It's the worst programming in the world because you're basically saying, I didn't do anything, but I've been in for a while and I'm not successful. So you can't explain that to yourself. The outside world, the people that you want to attract don't understand it. You look like a loser. You make us look like a bunch of losers. So let's get real. Come on. I'm always real. I tell you everything, even what I'm supposed to not tell you. I love you. Okay? So how long have you been in the business? Now look, you sign an application. You sign an application for college. That doesn't mean you graduate with honors. You probably fail out. You might have never showed up for class. You may have gone to law school and gotten a law degree, even admitted to the bar, but you ain't practicing law because you didn't open your office. You don't got a shingle out yet. And you ain't making any money. You're doing something else, which is great. You're getting the point? Oh, I joined 5 years ago. How much you making? I made one check where the leg disappeared. One leg. And then I got busy with something else. And then I became involved in a missionary mission. And then I became involved in a political campaign. So, you know, it's been 5 years, but I'm going to get back to it soon. But, you know, I just thought that after the first year I'd be making money. It would just keep coming in and never kind of. Well, look, let's be real. You signed up. Can I have those, did you do those movies of jumping to the top? And the other one, the stairs? Because you got in and you have a franchise, an unfranchised, that requires certain things to be done. The basic 5, going through the 5 steps, you know, retailing, ABC plan, because if you have a business, you got to show up to the business and open the doors and do business to have a business. Now, if you didn't do that, except for 15 days out of a year, is it logical and fair to say you did business 15 days? Well, you did. You only did 15 days. You did. You opened the doors 15 days, and you did the basic 5. Now, let me tell you something. I don't want to make you upset. I don't want to cause you to have cognitive dissonance. I don't want you to go bipolar on me. I don't want you to freak out. But until you become a master UFO, you went to school, you might be an apprentice, you might have taken a course, you signed an application, but you haven't opened your business at all. It's not even open because you got to have the business, have some products, be there and do certain things for whatever that business is to be open. It just ain't open. You're not doing anything for it to be open. It can't be open. It is not open. Make sense, Steve? So how were you in the business 3 years? You opened the shop 15 times but you weren't even a master on franchise owners, which is only doing some little basic things, no big deal, so that you can have business going on. Does it make any sense? Okay. So, how long have you been in the business? If you haven't done, do we show that thing with the ladder? I don't know. I'm not communicating well today. Okay. What a lot of you think is you can jump to the top of the stairs. And it looks like these guys making big money did that.
Wow.
I did that.
I'm a field vice president.
I don't think
You can jump right up here.
I don't
You
think
believe
can.
that?
Can you do it? Well, that's not going to happen. I know how to do that, but I've been at this for a long time. I know how to do things that others don't. Okay? Don't be mad at me for that. 30 years into this. I'm pretty good at the game of golf in this. You get what I mean? You can't do that. If you think that can be done, ask these guys that did it. That's not how they made it. They got it broken down so it was believable and found a back staircase that had steps. And the steps were what they had to do each day as a master unfranchised owner. And as they walked the steps day by day, it added up to weeks. So it wasn't something that you couldn't do or that they couldn't do. They found the steps and walked up the steps. And anybody can do that. Because anybody here can walk and anybody here has a brain. And we told you about the brain. So you walk up the steps, you get to the top, and you're a field vice president. That's how they did it. They cheated.
Doing it because the weekly goal, 4 weeks automatically add up to the monthly goal. We have enough people, enough assessments, enough follow-ups, and we did them 1 week at a time and got in position to accomplish the weekly by doing the daily. So it just all adds up. We're making it, you know? We're making it to the top. And we all make it. We have now made executive director in 1 year. Feels pretty good, doesn't it?
So you see, they cheated. They climbed the stairs. They programmed their brain. Okay, I don't have much time left. The bell's about to ring. But I want to tell you something. Life is very short. Very short. You could go tomorrow. You don't know. You need to turn the clock back to get real with yourself and to feel good and to stop making an embarrassment out of the business. It is what it is. It's a great business. You signed up, but you haven't been in 5 years. That's good news. You can forgive yourself. But we only have so much time here, and we don't know when it's going to disappear. You know, Lauren and I used to make her go to the graveyard to remember us. You guys are going to have to control the slides if you want me to do this, and then we're done. I didn't even get to show you Elizabeth's brain being programmed. I guess next time. But the truth of the matter is, I took Lauren when she was 18 to the graveyard because she convinced me to do this thing, and I realized that it wasn't going to be easy. And I didn't want life to pass us by. And we had to gain the conviction to realize we had to do something while we're living. We had to make a difference now. Because everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die to get there. Everybody dies, but not everybody lives. You see? And when you decide to do something with your life, you got to make it happen now. Because one day, these people that lived, that had friends, that people loved, that were important, will be forgotten. The only time we have is now. And what will your book be about when the last chapter closes? Will it be a boring, sit on the shelf, or will it be something that people want to read? When you're gone, there is no more mornings, no more sunrises, no more conversations. You're done. You're out. The play's over. Those left after you, they go back to work. They go on with their problems in life. What was your life worth? That can only be measured by the impact that you had on others, the legacy you leave, the lives that you affected, the things that you created. And you can't do that after you're dead. How many dreams do you leave that die with you? How many people's hopes die with you? We're given a life to live to the fullest. Can you say you lived yours to the fullest? That you did the things that you wanted to do? What a sin. What a shame to be given life and get stuck in that rut. And you didn't know it was going to end when it ended. And you didn't do any of those things. The good life, and the way God wants it, I'm giving you plenty of years. You better live it up. You better do great things. You better make the world a better place and have a blast. But you ruined it. You didn't program your brain. You had a terribly hard life. You were mistreated. Huh? And now it's too late. So Lauren and I went to the graveyard, and we walk up and down, and I see all these graves. These were people that sat next to us. They had family dinners. They did things. But they didn't accomplish their goals. They didn't have a way to change other people's lives. So when they die, their mundane life died with them. And everybody forgets them, even those that love them. Because when Monday morning comes, everybody goes back to work. And you may have been at their funeral because you want to make sure that other people go to your funeral. But who cares about the funeral anyway? It's over. You get this? So I go and try to raise the dead because it's so unfair that they lived their life and didn't get what they wanted. So I say, Lauren, this is a good one. Joe Nobody. Wow. I don't even know who he is. Nobody knows anymore. But Joe, I just met you. I'm going to tell you something. I found something where we can live, man. We can do anything that we want. We can help other people. We can give our kids the education they want. We can go on cruises. We can have fun. We can do important things that we wanted to create. Oh, man, I heard that you like to fly airplanes. We can make an airplane. We can do anything that we want that makes us feel full and add to the world. Come on, man, get up. We can have it all. No response. He doesn't get up. It's too late. Now, you know what? There's 2 dates on there. There's a birth date and a death date. It's funny that we had very little to do with either one. When you were born, you had nothing to do with the date, right? And you protested the whole way. You didn't want to be here. No teeth. You know? You were fighting it. So was Mama. But you protested, it had nothing to do with it. And then you got used to it. And then life goes by. Those dreams don't happen. You get stuck in the rut. And that day comes. That day comes. Your number's called. Nobody gets out of life alive. I haven't met anyone yet. Right? So that number will come up. It's inevitable. It doesn't matter when it comes up. It's how much you lived. It's how much you helped other people and made the world a better place and made your life count and enjoyed it. Because you only got one in this carnation. Now, there you go. And then there's a death date that we had nothing to do with. We didn't pick it. Your number came up. You still have a to-do list, stuff to do. And we protest that too. We weren't ready to come in with the first date, and we don't want to go out on the second date. I got stuff to do. I promised my grandkids this and that. It's not fair. Well, you got a good friend, Ralph. Ralph's the guy that told you nothing would work. You know, you borrow a salad. I mean, you give him a salad because he doesn't have any food and couldn't get groceries, and he doesn't return the bowl. That type of people, you know. So there it is. And you know you're going to die. What a grim reality. You know how courageous Bobby Cannata is? But you see, the prognosis is not determined by the doctor. It's determined by his belief in God. But we're all going to go, so what difference does it make? We're all going to go. Why are you here? Not for a business seminar, but to live, to find out how to be free, to make your dreams come true, to live. So I'm going to tell you something. The odd thing about this, birth date you had no control over. Death date you might make it a little longer with OPC3. But it's still going to happen. The interesting thing is between every one of those birth dates and death dates, every single one of them, there's a dash. The real question is, what did you do with the dash? Because that's all we got. You're here to be able to do more with it. So, you know, I went to a funeral recently. You know what's important about funerals? They put in our face a grim reminder of our own mortality. You ain't going to be here forever. But I always notice at funerals there's different types. That type of person who influenced others, that made the world better, that lived life to the fullest, it's not a sad time. It's a celebration of their life and returning from where they came. I went to a funeral recently of Dwayne's grandmother. Whew. I mean, this lady, we come from totally different backgrounds, but we had a relationship. You know, and she would stare into my eyes, and I would stare into her eyes and her soul, and she's so wise. She's a lot about why Dwayne grew up with ethics and morality and belief in God. I mean, it was unbelievable. The relationship that I had, nobody really ever knew it. But you know, she left life to return from where she came from, but left a legacy of beautiful people, dedicated and made the world better. That's the only way to leave. You know, so, but that number's going to come up for each and every one of us. This part is so important that I'm holding you over. But you're glad to live another day. But it'll be a day that we all are pronounced at the end. You're at the end. Well, that's the way it works. You can't get out of it. You can't change it. And you'll be on your deathbed. And the thing you want to see that's the best way to end is to have your family around you. And if you provided them a better life and a hope and instilled in them dreams, inspiration, integrity, you feel better about leaving. But maybe it's not that way. So my family is all with me. They're with me all the time, and they leave, but Lawrence stays. And some of my best friends and people that I have built a life with, that are around me, that I work with, are around me to come and see me because I'm not going to be around much longer. I'm going to die. We will all die. That moment comes. What dreams, what hopes, what promises, what great things die with you?
Baby. Honey.
Marty.
Honey.
Marty.
Marty. Honey, you taught me so many things. You know what I mean? And I taught you so many more things. I love you so much. I mean, what happened to all of our plans? We spent our whole life working for somebody else's dreams. And then we had plans and we never got to do any of them. How could you leave me like this? How could you do this to me? What the hell is wrong with you?
Give me an OPC3.
Go ahead.
Are you guys here because I'm going to die?
Come on, Pop Pop.
Come on, Pop Pop.
You made us believe in ourselves. You made us dream.
You promised the kids so much candy.
Oh, I love you, Amber.
We're ready to live, Pop Pop. Those dreams and all those promises you made. You were always so busy.
Yeah, I know.
What good is that busy now?
It pisses me off, man. I mean, the things we're going to do with the kids and the boat trips. And, oh, man. I guess I just never got to it.
JR, come on, we did this together. I have lived an incredible life. You worked all the time while I lived the dream. You convinced me to do it one more time. I am so ready. We would change the world with a shopping annuity. And now you disappear.
Ah.
I finally got respect, and you got me believing and staying in the game. We had plans to change the world. Finish the plans for our incredible products. You failed to explain the detail. I thought I would go first. Thank God I didn't. I threw that in myself. Now these dreams and plans die with you. Rest in peace, my dear friend.
Oh, Marty, it's your fault.
My fault.
You should not laugh at a person's deathbed.
Baby. Baby, you forgot to tell me where the money was.
You make your own money.
That's true. That's true.
Ah, JR, it's all good, man. It's been an incredible journey, but we had plans to make dreams come true in the United Kingdom. We had some good times, we enjoyed life, and now you're pulling the rug right from underneath me. I mean, thanks a lot, bro. What were you thinking? I mean, what the heck?
Oh, Andrew.
This is it?
I screwed up, man. All right, it's not fair to me either.
Come on, JR. We accomplished so much. Almost done with the Uberization of the shopping annuity. It was getting done. We were so close. After all this, you removed the passion, the belief. What the hell am I supposed to do now?
Thanks, guys, for stopping by. Before I die,
Bye, baby.
get out of here. Now, I gotta die. I don't want you to watch. Yeah. The only thing that really bothers me about this is I'm not going to see my grandson, Aiden, become president of the United States or Market America. I sneak out because I think they're wrong. I'm not going to die yet. But I'm going to die. We're all going to die. Now, I want you to understand something. We're here now. The dash is still there. It's so important. It's the only thing that counts. We're together. But even then, if we don't pack every life experience, every dream, helping other people succeed, changing the world, our life meant nothing. We're not going to let that happen. But we'll still all go. But if you have influenced thousands of people to be financially independent, changed the world, left a legacy, left a mark on the world, that took the economy back for the average people, you lived your dreams, you gave your family what they wanted, you've lived a life worth living. You've left a mark on the world. So, we're all going to go. And maybe I recover, and maybe I don't. Doesn't matter. We're going to die anyway. Yeah, now, guys. I kicked the bucket, and there's nothing in the bucket. But I let other people down. Now I'm dead.
Go around.
Yeah. Where's the mic? It's right here. I'm using this one. Oh my God. Well, I'm dead. I always knew it would happen. Nobody had a trick to get out of it. You know, I think about what Aristotle, Socrates, and Plato all said. The only thing in the world that they ever agreed upon was that we all die, and it's not so bad, because it's like sleep. You just go to sleep. And Lord knows, I always told everybody I'd sleep when I die. Well, now I'm dead and I can't sleep. Oh, man. But, you know, I got to get out of here because everybody thinks this is me in here. It's just my shell, my temple that crumbled. And I got to get out. I feel the pull, the rapture is pulling me. But man, if I come back, I'm going to do better. But God, you gave me a great life. All I can think of is that I left some dreams undone. I hope that I made a big enough impact that they'll carry on, that they'll change the world by helping others and using the shopping annuity to take back the economy, because then I have really done your will. I'm afraid to leave, even though I'm dead. My spirit, my soul is here, but you're pulling me. I guess I'll get to meet Jerry Siciliano now. Thank you, God, for providing me the brain and the wisdom and the insight and the beautiful people to make a mark on the world. I'm ready. But can I stay around for 3 days like Jesus? I just want, because I know that I'll rise in 3 days, but I want to haunt them. I want to make an impression on them. I want to be a ghost for a day so that I can remind them they got to do more with the dash. They got to make it happen. God bless you. I'm not really here. You're seeing me, but I'm not really here. Well, Lauren, I can't get to the piece about fantasizing. The bell rang, we're way over. I don't have their permission. And I'm dead. I'm like a spirit. I've risen. You want me to do it anyway? Okay, the problem is the dash goes by and we lose our ability to fantasize. There's this amazing story. I need you guys to flip through the pictures when I get there about a brain surgeon. What's his name? Huh? Fred Epstein. Real guy, lived in New York. Huh? Don't destroy a good story for lack of facts. I'm not alive now. This is my spirit, my soul, watching over you to remind you, you got to do more with the dash. But Fred Epstein actually died recently. He was a brilliant brain surgeon on children, saved hundreds of lives, advanced the technology, did things that everybody said were impossible, went in places in the brain and spinal cord that were difficult to get to, risking their lives. But his talent and belief and hope that that child could live a life of plenty, fulfill their dreams and their fantasies was his God gift, his drive. And there's many stories about this man. He took cases that nobody else would take. And he wrote a book, If I Get to 5. Imagine you're going to die and not be 5. But he had these kids that had imagination and hope and ability to overcome the worst circumstances, unlike most adults. And they would accept the circumstances, but instead of being brought down by it, they hoped. They overcame fear. They fantasized. If I get to 5, I'm going to learn how to jump rope. If I get to 5, I'm going to beat my sister at tit-tat-toe. If I get to 5, I'm going to ride a horse. I get the 5. That belief, that hope, that expectation, even knowing how slim it was, didn't bring them down in an expectation of the worst circumstances. Do you understand that, Bobby? But the kid has a way of seeing through the circumstances of the bad result to the hope that lies beyond it. And it draws him beyond it when sometimes we can't do that. And for some reason, we stop being kids. People ask me, when are you going to grow up? Which I don't know what that means. I'm never going to grow up. But these little kids, you know. Dr. Epstein, I got the 5. I made it to 5. If I get to 10, I'm going to ride a bike. I'm going to learn how to ski. If I get to 10. Got to 5, on to 10. Supposed to die. Wow. So, there's this little kid, Matthew. And Matthew had a very serious tumor. And it was very unlikely that he was going to make it. And he had to have several surgeries. Do you realize what it's like having surgery once a month? As for a little kid who's supposed to be playing and fighting for his life and not even know he's fighting, just seeing beyond that maybe there's something better if I can believe. Huh? Man, do you really understand that? It's bad enough for an adult. It's bad enough for Bobby. I don't know how he does it, and I'm so proud of you. But a kid, right? So this kid, Matthew, it got him over the anxiety to go in as a superhero. Because he was going to be victorious, and you couldn't beat a superhero. So one day he would come in to the hospital for the procedures in a Zorro outfit. And everybody said, wow, you're just like Zorro. He says, I'm going to win. He survived that surgery. The next time he had a whole entourage of outfits. He came back in Spider-Man. And he jumped out, and everybody got scared, played along with him, and he was in the moment. His doc said, okay, Spider-Man, let's get those things out of you that are causing you a problem so that you can save the world. Yes, Doc, let's do it. He came out of that surgery. So he would have a special uniform. And when his mom didn't have it, didn't have the money to get this Batman outfit, the morning of the surgery, she went out and got it. Because he might not be there the next day. And he got healed, and he was so proud. And he pounced through the hospital, and everybody's saying, oh, Batman! Like, man, you're Batman. He got through that surgery. He's now 16. He's now, what do you call that? It's like a form of karate. Yeah, Kwando. And he is a champion. Became a champion. But what got him through it was the ability to fantasize, the ability to dream. Why do we lose that? And it pulls us down into the drudgery of life as the dash passes by. But a kid can overcome the worst circumstances. We need to be kids again. We need to fantasize again. Did they show those pictures? Run me through those pictures. Because I see this in Aiden and Adrian. You know, I got to remind myself they're not my kids. Amber is the dictator, and Dwayne is the inspirer. I'm joking. She is such a great mom, it just blows my mind. I mean, she was born to be a mother. Incredible. I'm just blown away. I mean, she got accepted to Harvard. I wanted her to go to Harvard. Hey, hell with that. She did something better, bigger, and she's the best at it. She is the mom. You know? So at any rate, superheroes, fantasizing, dreaming, getting out of the problem, visualizing in a different spirit, in a different way. It's what we need to do. I mean, how anxietied out are we? How frustrated are we? How fearful are we? And the dash is going away, and you're going to be in that box. And how many of those dreams will die with you? How many of the things that you promise people will die with you? See, superheroes are an amazing thing. I think that Peter Pan got a bad rap, mispersonified, because he could go anywhere. He certainly wasn't a fairy. And he made a lot of great things happen. And he knew where Neverland was. Straight to the north, 2 stars to the right. Neverland, where all dreams come true. We're going to Neverland. We're going to be kids again. We're going to make it happen. So, we're at a very critical point where we have to be kids again. Let's fantasize. Fantasize that what I'm saying actually happens, and you were there, and you became part of it. And you changed the world, you changed history, and you can fill that dash with anything that you want and make it count and not leave hopes and dreams and promises to die with you, because we'll all die. But we got to make that dash a hell of a lot better than it is now. And we're running out of time. We're running out of time. So, it's so hard to get outside of ourselves and realize that the solution is us not getting more, but to help others get more. And by helping others in a real way, have a solid residual income and make their dreams come true and do it hand in hand, we make it a better world and we make their dreams come true. You must succeed so that other people can realize their dreams. But we're all selfish. It's a defense mechanism of survival. It's not your fault. But to overcome that human trait, to change the future and leave a legacy, is the greatest accomplishment that anybody can ever have within that dash. Most people never positively influence one life, let alone hundreds. You are a hero, a superhero. So, the little boy is walking down the beach line, and there's a mercury tide that comes in very high and goes out very fast, very low. And the beach is covered with starfish. 10,000s of them. And he's walking down the beach feeling bad that these starfishes are going to suddenly have their life ended. And they did nothing wrong. Caught in a moment. And he says, I'm going to save them. I'm going to save them. But there's 10,000 of them. He didn't care. He didn't even think about that. He went down and started throwing them back in the water. Didn't really know them, but he knew that they were alive, and this wasn't meant to be. The elder of the community was sitting having breakfast. He said, I wonder what that kid's doing. He's crazy. He can't like get this cleaned up. And he walked down faster than the kid and caught up with him. He said, son, what are you doing? He says, I'm saving the starfish. It's not fair. Their life shouldn't be over yet. He says, what are you, nuts? There's 10,000 of them here. What difference does it make? What difference are you going to make? You're not going to even get a fraction of them. He said, well, let me tell you something. It made a difference to that one. And it made a difference to that one. And it made a difference to that one. And it made a difference to that one. We can make a difference to that one, and that one, and that one, and 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. We can do it. We're committed to doing it. And all we have to do is come from love. I know I can be a rough SOB, but that's because I believe in you. I believe in you so much that I'm going to tell you the truth every time. I have no sinister motive, nothing to gain. I only gain by you getting it right. And we all have to get it right because we deserve to get it right. So when you're doing something wrong, I'm not mad at you. I love you enough to spank you. But I love you. Where is the love? Where is the love?
We will see you in Greensboro.